Right, Shalom, Shalom. Where the Hebrew Israelites here to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom and speak about the upliftment of Yahweh Shai, which is the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, coming back to deliver the elect of our people. So first and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yachakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you brothers out there pushing this word out, truth and sincerity. All right, let's start with that.
This is 2 Ezra 8 and verse 1. And he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many.
Right, this world was made for many, which is the many is what? The wicked. Okay? This is what this world was made for. This present world. Go ahead.
But the world to come for few.
But the world that's getting ready to come, the world of the righteous, starting with Yahweh Shai and the elect, okay? That's going to be for a few people. That's why when you read, matter of fact, go to 2nd Ezra, 13th chapter, okay? Dealing with how we saw a lot that were sorrowful. Read that out.
2 Ezra 13 and verse 12. Afterward, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude.
Yeah.
And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad.
Some were glad. That's a few. The ones that were glad was a minority compared to the rest that we're about to read about. Go ahead.
Some were sorry.
Some were sorry. That's going to be a multitude of people. Most of the people are going to be sorry. Go ahead.
Some of them were bound.
Some were in captivity, which is who? The other nations. Starting with the elites of these Edomites, which are the so-called white people. That's the first people. Okay, those are the first people going to be split. Okay? Read that again. Well, this is speaking about the kingdom of heaven. This didn't happen yet. Did the Lord come back yet? No, so this is getting ready to come.
That's right.
You Christians break this down. Go ahead.
Afterward, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. Right. There came much people unto him, whereof some were glad.
Some were glad. That's going to be, Lord willing, us and the elect. Go ahead.
Some were sorry.
The majority are going to be sorry. Go ahead. Why? Because what are they doing? They're doing nothing but wickedness. They're not following Yahweh Shai. Right? And if they're heathens, they're going to be sorry because they're obviously not following Yahweh Shai. It's not getting their spirit to do it. Right? And there's no salvation. Go ahead.
Some of them were bound.
And the ones that are bound are going to be the heathen, but starting with the Edomites. Okay? That's the main people that's going to be bound, man. That's right. Go ahead.
And the other some brought of them that were offered.
That's right. Go ahead. It's the book of Matthew. So that's what we mean by this world is for many, but the world to come is for few. The ones that are willing to go through the straight gate. That's who the world to come is for, which is only a few. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
The Son of Man is who? The Lord, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
All the tribes, meaning all the nations are going to mourn. Except for who? The elect of the nation of Israel. That's right.
That's right.
Why would they mourn when that's their salvation? Right. When he's coming to save them. The other nations are going to mourn because of what we're saying. That's why when they hear this word, they get displeased by it. Because they know they have nothing to do with it. And they could buck up. We're just going to remember you in the kingdom.
That's right.
You can act up now. We're just going to remember you in the kingdom.
That's right.
Oh, I remember this little demon.
That's right.
Okay? Give him double the work, man. And give him no brick. Make the big. Make the, remember when the Egyptians did that? Give him no brick, man. No straw. With the same, double the work, man. We ain't worried about you, man. Go ahead. It says, and then see the disrespect we get in this society in the world to come ain't coming, man. That ain't gonna be here. The base of disrespecting the honorable, man, in this place, man. You gotta endure in this damn place, man. There's no order here, man. See, when you go to the ancient world, there was order. Even when they were being wicked, there was order. Okay, you go back to even the Persians, the Babylonians, there was order and structure, man. You know what order and structure started to dissipate? With the damn Greeks, man. And then the goddamn Romans. That's why they said this beast was different, was diverse from the others, because they took order completely out of the picture, man. Had a senate and all kind of confusion. Okay? But before there was a monarchy, and they set up the structure. You know? There's particular lords, all right? And guess what? You couldn't come in and speak to a person of a certain rank just any type of way. There was a structure, man. Go ahead, man. But here there's no structure here, man. You got little low-level people that'll disrespect the honorable, man. Which starts with us. Go ahead, man. It says,
and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Yep.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven
Yeah.
with power and great glory.
Right, he's going to come with power and great glory. And they're going to mourn because they're seeing him in power and great. They're not going to rejoice. They didn't say they're going to rejoice. Why would you rejoice for your downfall?
Okay. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his
And
mighty.
you that are troubled, rest with us. Who's troubled? The Israelites. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And it's scattering around the earth. Okay, you're the ones that are troubled in the earth. You're the poor according to the scriptures. And the Lord is coming back to deliver you from this condition, man. He ain't coming back to deliver. You think he's coming to deliver the Saudis, man? Or the so-called white man? No, he's not coming to deliver the so-called white man. This is their kingdom. This is what would be considered their heaven. Okay, their heaven is equivalent to what? The Israelites' hell. You see that? You understand? So when our heaven, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be in slavery, man. They ain't gonna have nothing to say, man. They ain't gonna have nothing to say, man. And like I said, there's going to be order.
Go ahead, man. Real quick. This is John 14 and 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh and has nothing in it.
The prince of this world, and the prince of this world wasn't even, well, he was in power. He was in power, okay? He was in power, which was Esau and Edom, okay? He was already in power. That's why I said the mystery of iniquity doth already work, man. Which was what? The Romans, man. All right? What was the mystery? That the Edomites are known as the nation that's known as the wicked. You want to prove there's a separation between wicked, because every nation has wicked people, including our nation. But there's a separation because the Lord said what? You have become more wicked than the wicked. So who is the wicked? You understand what I'm saying? There was a separation. You have become, he told our people, you have become more wicked than the wicked. Now you have to understand who is the wicked. Okay? The Edomites are the wicked. That's what it meant by the mystery of iniquity, man. Give me Maccabees book.
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
Yep.
To the point. First Maccabees 1 and 9.
Yep.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Yeah, speaking about his Alexander, the Greek, the freak, his 4 generals, man. Okay? Lasamachus, Cassander, Seleucus, and Ptolemy, man. All devils, all Edomites, man. None of them were good. Man, one of them. Go ahead.
So did their sons after them many years.
Yeah.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Woo, and this here was added. Multiplied is rapidly increased, man. When you multiply something, that's a rapid increase, man. If I go 2 times 2, and then times 2, and then times 2, in no time you'll reach to 1,500 from 2. So it's saying that evils were multiplied in the earth when these Edomites first ruled. Because when was the first Edomite rulership? The Greeks, man. Okay? When you look at Alexander, that's the image of a Greek. Okay? So don't tell me about his Japhet. That's the Greek are the so-called white. I mean, the Edomites are the so-called white people. Okay? They stole that nationality and that name from Japhet. That doesn't make them Japhet. They just basically what they do now. They come, right? They come to the Americans. They call themselves Americans. Right? They grabbed people here before. See? They go to Australia, they call themselves Australians, but there's Aborigines there before. It's the same thing they did to the Japhites. That's why they were known as, when you go to the Old Testament, it speaks about Greek, it says Yavan. Yavan, who is that? That's a son of Japheth. But the ones that took over that land were not Japhites, right? Even the Romans, those were Japhites too. The Etruscans, those were Japhites, man. Those were the original Romans, man. But the famous Roman Empire came about by the Edomites, the so-called white people, the Edomites. Which that's where nothing but wickedness was happening in that place. Nothing but evil was happening in that place, man. Okay, there was no righteousness going on in the Roman Empire, man. Especially in the pagan Roman Empire. Oh, Caligula. You ever watch a movie about Caligula? How foul and wicked that dude was, man? That Edomite was? He would sleep with horses. Okay? He slept with his own sister. So Esau's a foul being, man. Running the earth. Right now, as we speak, the same people, man. Salaki, brother. Go ahead, man.
Proverbs 29.
And then we're tired. I'm tired of looking at you, man. I'm tired of these Edomites, man. Yeah, this one end dub. She said, "I'm tired of you guys." Well, I feel the same way. And I got to feel on it. She was acting masculine. Like, what's wrong with you? They don't know how to act either. But I feel what she was saying, though. Go ahead, man. You get tired of these devils, man. There's only so much Karens, and Kevins you can goddamn deal with, man. After a while, it's like, yo, why doesn't the Lord come quick, man? Take these devils out, man. Go ahead, man.
Proverbs 29 and verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied.
And then they act like you did something to them. They act like you put them in slavery, man. They act like you stole their land. That's how they act, bro. All these illegals. Wait a minute. Hold on. Texas used to be Mexico, man. They act like you did them something. You see the audacity of these devils, man? The audacity, man. Look up the word audacity, brother. We're going to go into words today, man. Look up the word audacity, man. The pride and the audacity of you devils, man. Hold up, brother. The pride and the audacity of these devils, man. They should be groveling at the feet of the Israelites, man.
That's right.
Because the judgment is coming either whether they grovel or not. They don't have to grovel now. They're going to grovel later. Bring out that definition, brother.
This is the definition of audacity in the etymology online. It says boldness.
And the boldness, man. You know? Go ahead, man.
It says courage.
It takes courage to be that damn wicked, that damn proud, man. Go ahead.
It says daring.
Daring. Okay? You done did the messed up everyone and you got something to say, man. You act like someone did something to you. Alright? Nobody didn't do nothing to you, man. You did something to everybody, man. And you're gonna pay for it too, man. They'll say the Holy Scriptures, man.
That's right.
And I'm tired of seeing the pride on their face too. All that is gonna be wiped off too, man.
That's right.
All that smug, the Scripture said that the pride of man shall be bound down, man. Especially the proud, man. The most proud, as the Scriptures call it, man. We're talking about arrogance here, man. Okay? When you think that you're more than you are, that's arrogance. You think that you're more than you are. Go ahead, man. It ain't arrogance for telling us that we're over you, because we are over you, man. That's a fact. Anything else would be folly. Go ahead, man.
Real quick, this is Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and men.
See, that's why these Edomites were created to be hated, man. Because they're a people of pride that they won't change. They can't change as a nation. As a nation. All right, you got certain Edomites that are ashamed, but that's not going to save you as a nation. Go ahead.
Pride is hateful before the Most High and men. And by both doth one commit iniquity.
It's iniquity, man. Even men will hate you on the earth for it. Not just the Most High, but men will hate you for that. And that's why all these other nations, they got a bone to pick with you, man. Okay? Go ahead, man.
This is Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may he also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
They're accustomed to do evil because they were created to be evil. You have to understand that. You can't say, oh, we can change. You can't change everybody, man. Don't you know there's certain people that were created to be villains on the earth, man?
That's right.
You think you could change Klaus Schwab or Yuval Noah? You can't change those devils, man. They were created to be the adversary, man.
That's right.
All right? The ones that are going to change is the elect of the nation of Israel.
That's right. That's right.
No other nation. Oh, we shall over. You walking around the damn sign all. You've been doing that since the 60s, man. Don't you get it, man? This is in their spirit. Don't you get it? It's a spiritual hatred, man. This ain't no thing that just happened, They saw, this black guy stepped on my shoe. Nah, it's a spiritual hatred, man.
That's right. That's right.
You didn't do nothing to them, man. Go ahead, bro.
Psalm
Give me
73.
that because you had a perpetual hatred. Get me that, man. Give me that, man. And the ones who are people that don't get down with the program, they want to still love the devil. You want to die with the devil. We don't give a damn. We don't care about you, man. We care about the elect, man. The chosen of the Most High, the Israel of God. That's right. The rest of you are the Israel of the devil. Remember, I tell you, right? Go ahead.
Ezekiel 35 and verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power,
Go ahead, man.
behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand.
Who's Mount Seir? That's the nation of Edom. That's a race of people. The Most High saying he's against you.
That's right.
What's that about? I thought the Most High loved everybody. The Most High don't love everyone. He doesn't love every nation. Really, the only nation he loves is us, the Israelites. Okay? You got to get that through your thick skull, man. And there's a nation that he hates above all nations, which are the Edomites. Go ahead.
And I will stretch out my hand against thee.
That's right.
And I will make thee most desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Now, perpetual means what? Continual hatred. Like I told you, you didn't do nothing to these devils. You didn't do nothing to the so-called white man. He was lynching you for fun. Okay, it was dismembering you, raping the women, all that for fun. He wasn't doing it because you did something to him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a spiritual, perpetual hatred going back to the scriptures, going back to Esau. And even before that, the spirit of Cain is in these devils, man. Go ahead, man.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred,
All right?
and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
And we are the children of Israel, man. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and are scattering around the earth. Okay, we make up the 12 tribes. Go ahead.
By the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood.
So the Lord said he's going to pay you back. Right. He got something for you, man. Right? Why don't the Christians bring this up? Because they don't teach the Bible, man. They teach what they taught them on the plantation. That's plantation Christianity. Go ahead.
And blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right. That's called justice. All right? Blood is going to pursue them. Right. All right? When the Lord comes back, he's coming back to shed a lot of blood. That's right. He's coming back to set up order. Okay? He's coming back to set up order in the earth, man. To really put everything right side up. Because right now everything's upside down. Right? Right now, all these nations, they got a caste system based upon skin color. And if you have melanin, you're lower on the caste system. Which melanin is what you need to protect yourself from the sun. This is why if it shines bright, I can go out in the sun and I don't need no sunscreen. You understand? That's a protective shield from the Heavenly Father. They're saying that's negative. So that's backwards, bro. That's backwards, man. Okay? And they're uplifting that which is really inferior to that which is good. Right? Even the Israelites. All the talents our people have, we have the most talent on the earth. When you go into talent, what's that? That's a measurement. That means our spirit is more weighty. That means our spirit has more worth than the other spirits. That's what it goes in. When you have gold, right? And the gold, you got an ounce of gold, then you got a talent of gold. Clearly, you want the talent of gold way more than you want the ounce of gold. Okay? Because the talent is much more heavy. So our people are the people with the most talent, but in this society, they're the most base. Which means what? That the society is upside down. Right. Go ahead. Because the talent came from who? The Most High. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Isaiah 5 and verse 20. It says, woe unto you that call evil good,
right,
and good evil.
Right. If a guy wants to chop off his member and call himself Sarah, go into the girls' washroom, they'll say that's a good thing. And they'll demonize you if you speak against it. All right? That's what this society is about. Folly, confusion. Right. Okay? Or if a man is a father, strict father, they'll speak against him. Oh, he's oppressive. But then when his daughter's on the stripper pole, or when she's doing OnlyFans, they don't got no that. It's free. Okay? Go ahead.
It says that but darkness for light.
That's darkness. So what they teach in society is darkness. That's right. Meaning void of truth. Go ahead.
That and light for darkness. Right. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Right. Meaning what? The society's upside down. Completely upside down. Go ahead.
Job 10 and 21. Before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. Right. A land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order. And
that's dealing with America. America doesn't have any order. Okay? That's known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. And that's the place that pollutes the minds with their wicked wine all around the earth. That's why Kamala Harris went all the way around the earth to Africa to try to, these other nations to try to teach them how to be democratic, right? Quote unquote. And those leaders were cursing their ass out, rightfully so. Well, they're cursing America out in general. Seeing a place that has built their wealth upon brutal enslavement and this and that. You're being exposed, man. It's coming to teach us about democracy. Huh? The scripture said that thou art greatly despised amongst the nations, right? Oh, they said a nation that has set up many coups in Africa has killed many of our leaders. You know what I mean? That's what they said. Okay? So these nations are figuring you devils out, man. Go ahead.
And of the shadow of death,
Right.
without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
Where the light, there's nothing but darkness in this place, man. Confusion, backwardness. Go ahead.
Con, this is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler.
And what's under the sun? That means the earth. Okay? But the sun is above the earth. Go ahead.
Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
The rich is who? Is us. We're the rich. Okay, the Israelites. The Israelites are sitting in low place, man. Go ahead.
I have seen servants upon horses,
Right.
and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Right. And princes walking as servants upon the earth. We're the princes. What does the name Yashar Allah mean? What does our name mean as a nation, as a race? He is a prince of God. That's what our nation means. That's what it means to be an Israelite, man. All right? So none of you jakes, all right, should be walking with your goddamn head down, man. Okay? You should be walking with your head up, knowing who you are. But first of all, we're highborn. Okay? That's number one. And a lot of you jakes, you don't know nothing, man. You don't even know who you are. I gotta say it like Rafiki, man. All right? Because he was trying to show Symbol. Because Symbol was all depressed, right? He was trying to show Symbol, like, yo, bro, first of all, you're supposed to be the king. What the hell? What's your problem, man? He hit him in the head with the staff. Remember that? He hit him in the head with the staff to wake his ass up. That's what we're doing to you, man. We're showing you jakes, you Israelites, that you're the chosen of the Most High. You're the chosen of God. You got something else? Okay, matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6, brother.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people, who's his people, man? The people on this side. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. There's no such people as black. When you look at the Bible, all the black people, the native people, that's not in the Bible. The scriptures, we all have biblical nationalities, man. The Arabs are the Ishmaelites. Okay? Those are some Ishmaelites right there. Well, look at, Muhammad. Muhammad knew he was an Ishmaelite. Why don't you know that? Muhammad knew he was an Ishmaelite. See, the average person don't know shit. Okay? They don't know anything, right? Okay? He's like, oh no, that's great. See, because they don't know what's going on, man. They don't even know they're Ishmaelites, man. All right? The Ethiopians are the Cushites of the descendants of Ham. Okay? We are the Israelites. Matter of fact, get the book. Who got the Zondervan on it? Pull up the Zondervan if any brother have that. And go to the definition of Ham, man. All right? You got it in there? Oh, okay. Good. Go ahead.
Hosea 4 and 6.
Show you. We all got biblical nationalities. Our biblical nationality is the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
You don't even know he's an Ishmaelite. That's a damn shame, man. We don't expect you Ishmaelites to know that, man. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, and thou shalt be no priest to me.
Right.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
Right, they forgot the law of their God. The law of their God is what? The law, statutes, and commandments that was given to Moses. Okay? And really all the book, the whole book, the Torah, the Tanakh, right? The New Testament, that's the laws of our power. Okay? Of our God, in other words. Okay? What you got? That's it? Okay, go ahead. Read that out. Yep.
This is the
Who
definition.
read Deuteronomy 76? I got it right here. Now read that first.
On Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6, it says, for thou art a holy people.
Who's a holy people? The Israelites, separate, sacred. All right, sanctified by the Most High. Put aside. Okay, go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God. And the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
That's right.
Above all people.
We're above all these other nations, man. That's just the facts of the matter. Right. I mean, you've been told the opposite in society. All right? But guess what? That's not the truth. Right?
It says, and have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
We're above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? And that's why the Most High blessed us with the talents that He blessed us with. Because like I said, the word talent goes into a measurement, man. All right? So it means that our spirits are more heavy than these other nations, meaning we're more worth than these other nations. Go ahead.
This is the definition of Ham in the Zondervan dictionary. It says,
Well, that's why anything we get into as Israelites, we dominate. Okay? Any industry, anything we get into. If we really get into it, we're going to dominate. We're going to take, all of a sudden, you're going to see nothing with the so-called black guys and Latinos and Native Americans. Okay? Especially the kingdom of Judah. All right? Because the Most High had blessed us with talent. Go ahead.
the definition of Ham in the Zondervan Bible dictionary says, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons that lived through the flood. He became the progenitor of the great
So
races.
this is dealing with Ham. Okay? Speaking about the definition of Ham. All right? Read it again.
It says, the youngest son of Noah, probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
The dark races, go ahead, but that's dealing with like the so-called Africans. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negro. There was a separation. Even in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, there's a separation. Okay? Because we're not the same as the Ethiopians or the Kenyans or whatever like that. Okay? For the most part. You got Israelites that are scattered amongst them. But for the most part, right, those are Hamites. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
And the West Africans are really so-called Negroes. They're Israelites. The majority of the West Africans, the Nigerians, Congolese, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, those are Israelites. Okay? Go ahead.
It says not the Negroes, but the Egyptians.
Not the Negroes. So he made a separation between them and the Negroes. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians,
Right.
Libyans,
Right, because
and
we are a
Canaanites.
dark nation that was enslaved by the Egyptians as well. Right? But they knew the difference between us and them. Right? Okay, bring it up.
Come on, Exodus 11 and verse 7.
Get me with the Hebrew midwife. Son of the Hebrew women are more lively. Go ahead.
Exodus 11
And look at that
and
word
verse
lively.
7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye shall know that the Lord
Because you ain't supposed to be moving your tongue against someone that's over you, man. All right? And they're going to learn their place in the kingdom, man. Go ahead.
that ye shall know how that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
There's a difference. Although we're both dark-skinned nation, although they got the dark skin and stuff like that, right? We're a different nation. The Lord made us separate, right? And we also have different characteristics as well. Okay? Go ahead.
Even in the time of Joseph, it says it was an abomination for. He said it was an abomination for the Egyptians to eat with the Israelites. The separation between the Egyptians.
Right. Because they thought they were over us. They thought they were over the Israelites. But see, that's everything is backwards. Okay? And then you got the Edomites, which is even a lesser nation than the Egyptians, thinking they're over us now. Right? So it's complete confusion. Go ahead. Because the Edomites are really the lowest nation that's ever been. But the Most High has exalted them on a level over and higher than all these other nations. So that's why the scripture says pride passes as a chain. Go ahead.
So this is the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 19. And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the wives come in unto them.
See, the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, man. Meaning what? That our women are lively. Meaning our women have a more spirited. And you can see that's easy to see. But look at that word lively.
This is the word lively, and the blue letter, it says vigor. Lively, having the vigor of life.
Vigor is going into power, right? But it's like the power of the spirit. Meaning, they can dance. Our women can dance. right? They set all the trends. When it comes amongst women, our women set the trends. Okay? Which is all it's pure wickedness now. We're talking about wickedness. But they set the trend. It's like we set the trends among the men. Okay? Go ahead. Which I had an older gentleman that looked like an Edomite that I used to work with, right? Which he looked like an Edomite, but he's a Jacob. Okay? And he even told me that back in the day, whatever the black men would do, later on they would follow. Like they used to like tie their like when they're doing construction, they used to tie their bandana a particular way. And then years later, the so-called white boys would do the same thing, but they would do it like years later, right? Showing you, because he was basically showing me that we set the trends, even going back then, which that's obvious, because all the music comes from us. Every jazz, blues, rock, all that comes from us. Go ahead. That was in the definition.
Classic music.
Go ahead. Classical music. See, Esau doesn't want to tell you that, man. Okay, Mozart was a so-called black man. Beethoven was a so-called black man. All right, and all those new images we see when they're super pale, they look like white people. That's Renaissance art. That's Renaissance art. That was the destruction of the dark images, man. That goes back to after the 1400s, man. Okay. All those images of the so-called Jesus the Christ looking like a white guy, that's why we got horns on him over there. That's Renaissance art. That's not how he actually looked. When you go back to those pre-Renaissance art, they always depicted him as a so-called black man. Okay, they depicted Mary as a so-called black man, right? They depicted all the apostles, okay, because they understood it was. This is old. These are old images right here. Okay, this goes back to pre-Renaissance art. You see, they have afros on their head. Okay, all right. They got beards on their face. Go ahead. And the whole thing of the baby with the penis hanging out, that's Renaissance art, man. The angels with the wing with the babies with the penis, that's Renaissance art, man. Because these Edomites are into freakism. Go ahead.
First Maccabees 3 and verse 48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images.
That's Esau. That's my son. Go ahead.
First Maccabees 3 and verse 48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Like to paint the likeness of their images, meaning to make it look like them. What's the book of the law? The scriptures, man. Read that again.
It says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen
meaning the other nations, not of our nation, the other nations, go ahead,
had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Has sought to paint the likeness of their, and that's all psychological. Right. The reason why they came over to the Native Americans with a white Jesus is because that was psychological. That made them say, listen, if I'm the people of God, then I'm God. Okay? You understand? So any wrong that I do, I can't be, you don't blame me for it. Right. Just forgive me for it. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's the mentality that our people have even to this day. That's why if another Jake would do something to them, even a family member, they owe me $100. Oh, I'm not talking to them no more. They'll stop talking to that family member for 14 years over $100, right? But all the wickedness that these Edomites done did to you and your people, just forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you know how much videos there are, man, of Jake's getting shot by the police or something like that, or not even that. Oh, the church shooter. Remember that guy, Dylan Roof? That Edomite, that Edomite devil, he went up in the church and shot up all them black people. And you had the dumbass so-called black woman, I forgive him. And he killed her father. Bro, that's not scriptural. That's not what it means to turn the other cheek. That's not what it means when it says turn the other cheek. Because you only do that for these devils, man. You don't do that for your own people, man. Go ahead. It's the book of Job. And like I said, all those images of repainting the images white, that was all psychological. Go ahead.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Yep.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
What does it mean he covers the faces of the judges thereof? That means he would take down these images and he would paint them as so-called white people. Okay? He would put his own image on it. That's why now, if you would look up a picture of these old ancient, Jesus, let's say Jesus, right? You'll type in Jesus, you'll see Renaissance art. They'll look like white people. That was called Renaissance. What does Renaissance mean? Rebirth. Rebirth of what? Renaissance. Rebirth of what? The so-called white people coming back into power so you can understand.
That's right.
Because prior to that, for 1,000 years, so-called black people ruled Europe.
That's That's right.
The Byzantine Empire. That's why they don't bring out too much information on it.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know what was happening. But they know what a dinosaur ate.
Right.
But his diet was 5 billion years ago.
Right.
But they don't know what happened in the Renaissance. Right? Oh, we don't know that. There's no images of King Henry. You understand? So these devils are liars, man.
Yeah. Good. It says, back to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Right.
If not, where and who is he?
Right, that goes back into Leonardo da Vinci, all right? Michelangelo. Those were Edomite painters that would paint over these images, man. And we need to get that image of that Edomite. That's hard to find, man. That one is hard to find, bro. It used to be easy to find, but you had the Edomite that was just repainting the black image to look like a white person. And that image is hard to find now because Esau suppresses it. He controls the internet. He controls Google. So he's been suppressing that information. All right? But all the truth is going to come out, man.
That's right.
And I can't wait. I yearn for the day that the truth comes out, man. Go ahead, man.
This is Isaiah 25:7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations.
That means the lies that are covering them, the lies, the confusion. They don't know who they are. Even these other nations, they don't know who they are. Okay? They're calling themselves by colors. I'm black. I'm African. I'm Asian. What does that mean? The word Asian means East. Okay? Where? Okay, what?
Revelation 20 and verse 1. And I saw an angel.
Actually, Salakia, which I believe it does mean East, but it goes back to, I believe it's Scipio Asiatic. Okay, another Edomite that named that land after himself. Okay? So that's not your nation. Your nation is written in the scriptures, man. Go ahead.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key
Oh, beautiful. I was just thinking about
of the
that.
bottomless
That's
pit,
the spirit.
and a great chain in his hand.
Yeah.
And he laid hold.
Now the bottomless pit is what? The bottomless pit is Europe. Okay? The reason why it's known as the bottomless pit is because it lacks natural resources. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why you go to Ireland, they were living off of just pure potatoes. Right? They didn't really have a vast amount of natural resources. Go ahead.
It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Which is why they also constantly pillage Africa, because they need those resources. Go ahead.
Like you had one of the elites said Europe is the place where the sun don't shine.
Yes, right. Wow, that's heavy. Yeah, because it lacks natural resources. Okay, that's why the scriptures is known as the bottomless pit. Go ahead.
On 2 Ezra 5 and 23, and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule over the wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof. Thou hast chosen thee only one vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit.
One pit. So lands and countries are also known as pits in the scriptures. So when you speak about the bottomless pit, that's speaking about the land of Europe. Okay? Go ahead. What you got? You got more?
Go back to Revelation 20 and 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Now the dragon is dealing with the Edomites, okay, who are ruling the world right now. They will call themselves so-called white people, okay? And not everyone that looks like a so-called white person is an Edomite, but that's the prototypical image of an Edomite, okay? And the majority of them are Edomites. Go ahead.
That old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
And meaning what? What does it mean it bound him? Right now, us as Israelites, we're spiritually bound right now. Okay? Meaning we're not able to get up to a certain level, and it's a spiritual thing that the Most High did. Right? Until Yahweh Shai comes back and delivers us from this captivity. But back then, right, going back to the Dark Ages, the Byzantine Empire, these Edomites had a spiritual chain on them for 1,000 years. They were the lowest caste of society. Okay? They were the serfs and the servants. They were the peasants. All right? And we were the royalty. All right? Which even that image, there's another image. Right, this image, you see the Edomites coming out of the forest and come and try to pillage the village. And you see the princess and the king. These are all so-called black people. All right? This is an ancient art. Okay, this is not new art, this is ancient art. This is pre-Renaissance period. Okay? Go ahead. So that's when that chain, that spiritual chain, was on them. Go ahead.
Genesis 3:14, and the Lord power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
Right, that's going into confusion. All right, but ultimately, that's showing you the dragon and the serpent is speaking about that same spirit. Okay, that same spirit that came into these Edomites. Right? Go ahead.
Revelation 20:3, and cast them into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled.
Right, so after that 1,000 years was fulfilled, going into around the late 1300s and 1400s, that's when so-called white people started to come back into power. Okay? Because they went from the pagan Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire was us ruling, the so-called black men ruling. That was the holy, because we're a holy people. The Edomites, they brought forth paganism. Okay, they went heavy on that paganism. We came in with the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? And that was the fall of the what we call the Western Roman Empire. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, and after that, he must be loosed a little season.
And he was loose, like I said, around the 13 to 1400s. And the Lord helped them come into power because it's prophecy by sending the pneumonic and bubonic plagues, which was called the Black Death back then, which took out about 2/3 of our people in Europe. Okay? The Lord did that for what reason? First of all, Jacob wasn't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's number one. But secondly, because prophecy had to be fulfilled. These Edomites had to come into power. So guess what? The Lord even helped Christopher Columbus, that devil, that low-life scum, right? Come on this side of the earth, okay? Because when you look up Elmo's fire, that was a chariot because they were about to kill each other and eat each other on the boats, all right? That was a sign from the Most High to say, listen, no, keep going. Because they had to come to the Americas, right? To set up this new world, all right, or this new rulership, rather, which is Babylon the Great, okay? So that they can eventually be destroyed. All these prophecies have to come to pass. Whether good or bad, it has to come to pass. That's why the Most High allowed it to come to pass, all right? But the ancient rulership, the royals, the true royals of Europe, were so-called black. Okay? The queen that's in there, or the king that's in there, or whatever, those are not the true royal lineage. Go ahead.
Jump into verse 7, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan
We
shall
gotta
be...
start bringing out more information on that too. I gotta start pulling out articles and printing out stuff, man. Okay, 'cause that's a lot of history that's been hidden. Go ahead.
And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Oh, which proves that the Israelites were ruling in Europe, and then they knew they were Israelites. The name Anglo-Saxon, what does it mean? The angelic sons of Isaac. Okay? The different coats of arms were all coats that go back to the biblical Israelites. Right? The lion and the unicorn, that goes back to the scriptures. The hind, which goes into a Naphtali. The wolf goes into Benjamin. Okay? Right.
It says,
oh, and even when you watch that movie, The Tudors, there's an episode, I don't know if it was the second or third episode, where he said, no, if this threatens my rulership, which threatens the kingdom of Judah, or the rulership, the lineage of Judah, because he knew he was a Judah. You understand? Go ahead.
and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be...
Says, speak out loud.
You had the Moors that was ruling at the same time,
Right.
the Byzantine.
Right.
The Moors goes back to these black.
Yeah, Moors mean black, right? Which they can't hide that in history. That history is just too obvious. You know, there's just too much proof on that. You know? So they basically tell you that in movies. They'll send a guy and they'll say, oh, Moor, what do you have to say? You know, and this, whatever. And there'll be a so-called black man they cast in that movie. Because they know the Moors were black. But guess what? The Christians and the Saxons were also black. All right? The Danes were also black. Okay? That's what they try. They're still trying to conceal that. Go ahead.
And when,
Huh?
The real Italians too, right?
Well,
Yeah.
not necessarily how would you say this? The Moors took over Italy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was really Moors that took over Italy, and that's why you go to southern Italy, they have dark hair and they have that tan skin because their forefathers, a lot of them, so-called black. Go ahead.
And also, Salaki, you still have two islands that are near Italy.
Right.
Their flag is a face of a Moor.
Yeah.
Right. You have Sudoka, and the other island is Corsica.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right. That's right. It's a black image with a bandana.
Yeah.
Black, and people don't understand where that comes from, right? But when you go into Eastern Europe, especially Eastern Europe, you go to those museums, you'll see the same images we have. You'll see the black images. There's one brother that went to this one museum, and they had the black images, right? And he was doing the videos, and he went back and he replaced it with the fake white images, man. Show you these devils, they know, man. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, bro. He's like, what happened to the images that were, Go ahead, man.
And when the 1,000 years are expired,
And that shows you they're your enemy too, man. Go ahead.
Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations
Yes.
which are in the four quarters of the earth.
And that's all deception, man. What they did with the images, that's deception.
That's right.
Right? They make you think that the rulership of Europe is actually the real royals. That's deception, man. This whole rulership is, you think you're eating real food, that's deception. All this food is polluted, man. Everything in this society is based on deception. Go ahead.
It says, Gog and Magog to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
That's right. Stop, bro.
This is Daniel's 4.
Casting out this excellence.
This is Daniel's 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
That's what the Most High did. He set up over the world the basis, meaning the lowest of men, which are you Edomites. Okay? So the Edomites think they're on a level, and that really pisses us off because we know they're not on a level. Right? We know they're not on a level, right? Can you imagine how vexed King Henry VIII would have been if someone would have came up and said, I'm the king, some random peasant, I'm the truth. He would have boiled it, man. He would have got some oil and boiled his ass, man. Okay? No, he would have what he was gonna do to Thomas, man. He would have hung him half to death, then cut out his bowels. He would have done some cool things to that guy, man. Some real regular pet. I'm the king. What? First of all, the people would have grabbed his ass up. And that's how I feel when I look at you devils, man. Go ahead, man.
This is Job 30, verse 8. There are children of fools, yea, children of base men.
Right.
They were viler than the earth.
They're viler than the earth, man. Even Job knew that. That's why Job said I wouldn't even allow them. Matter of fact, go up on that.
This is Job 30 and verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have sat with the dogs of my flock. Yea, verse 2, it says, yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me.
Ça va?
Oui, ça va, merci. Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui sont venus vous importuner ici par hasard?
Pourquoi?
Ils sont venus vous importuner par
Pardon.
hasard?
Importuné, ça veut dire.
Pardon.
Non, c'est bon. Pas aujourd'hui. Non, c'est bon.
Ok, puis est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui cherchaient la confrontation avec nous autres? Parce que là, nous, on a différents achats, on a fait un.
Ok.
Puis là, ça fait comme deux, trois fois.
And this is Job 30 and verse 1. It says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have sat with the dogs of my flock.
Those that are younger than Job, he's referring to these Edomites. They're younger because they're insignificant. You know, in the spirit they're insignificant. They're younger than us. It says, whose dogs I would have disdained to set, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. And you see what these people do with the dogs. It's known that they sleep with their dogs. They like to lick the dogs. You know,
Famine of the word is
Christianity
soon.
is accepted in certain places.
You feel it?
You know, so those are people that are vile, man. You're not supposed to be affiliated with this sort of people. That's why the Lord told Adam, don't hang out with this tree, man. You know? Good.
Verse 2, yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished.
Yep.
For want of famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness.
Yes. We gotta go ahead.
Fleeing into the wilderness. Fleeing into the wilderness and former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
Because they were there was a time when they cast these Edomites off, right? And when you read about the Khazars, they were kicked out of every place that they were in. Okay, so that was the Edomites in general, you know. And it wasn't just the Khazars, also the Edomites too. But the Khazars were, because they come from Amalek. Those were the worst of the worst. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 5, they were driven forth from among men.
Yeah.
They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and the caves of the earth.
Right, so that's where you get the cave dweller from, the caveman from, because these Edomites were in the caves, and when this person, who was it? Kagan Bullen, they had a general called Kagan Bullen, the Khazars, right? But the account of these Edomites, how they were living in the caves, was they would wear their clothes until it disintegrated off of them, right? The other kings would come to have a meeting with them, and their wife would be there eating the lice out of her crotch, right? They were living like literal monkeys, right? But then they came into power, and they started calling us monkeys. You see that? This is why the Job said, "They that are lesser than me, I become their son." This is ridiculous. Go ahead. This is actually what happened. This is true history. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, read that again from the top, from the tip of the top.
Job 30,
and it's vexing in the spirit. Go ahead.
Job 30 and verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision.
What does it mean younger? That means lesser than you. Back then, that's like a slang for saying lesser than you. Go ahead.
It says, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Whose fathers I wouldn't even allow to lay with my dogs, man. All right, to sleep where my dogs sleep at, man. But you know how these Edomites get down with them dogs, man. Edomites be tongue kissing the dog on cameras. You know? And then that's why you gotta, when you deal with them Edomite chicks, you gotta, sometimes you gotta be careful, man. I don't really want to deal with no Edomite with no big Labrador dog. I don't, listen, man. Not really, you know what I mean? All right? Go ahead, man. What you gotta say, bro?
Actually went a couple years back. I went to DQ, Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And I seen an Edomite lady.
Speak up.
Edomite lady with an ice cream, licking it,
and giving it to her dog.
giving it to the dog and licking it back.
Listen, man.
I kid you not. I couldn't even believe it.
But then they'll look at us like they're on a high level.
I couldn't believe it.
See, this is why we gotta get out. This is why the house shines to take this place out, man. Go ahead, man.
Verse 2.
Madness. I could believe it. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's nasty, but I wouldn't be surprised. Because I remember in school they used to say that a dog's tongue is cleaner than a human's. Because you know what that is? That's to justify their nastiness, man. Oh, they even have scientific studies saying you should only bathe once a week or something. Listen, man. Go ahead, man.
Verse 2. Yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me.
Right.
And whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste, who cut up milos by the...
So that was the time when that spiritual chain was on them. Okay, they were cast off from different men. All right, the way they came into power was two ways. Right, was intermarriage. Okay, because a lot of times we have the so-called the Moors. The Moors, they like the so-called white people. Those Moors. There's history on that where they used to specifically ask for so-called white people. The Moors. So what happens when you marry an Edomite, or you marry any nation, not just an Edomite, any nation, or any person, really, any individual, it is a union of a family. Okay? So what would happen is if they were highborn, if they married a king or someone that was of a high rank, they would be joined unto that person and they would come up in rank. You understand what I'm saying? That person will bring them up in rank. So that's part of the way how these Edomites came to power. Okay? Dealing with the bourgeois, right? And things like that. That's how they came up with the power. Okay? Go ahead.
Concerning the Moors,
Yep.
it says the tribute of 100 virgins.
Woo! This is going with the Moors. right? This is when we ruled Europe for 1,000 years. The black people ruled Europe for 1,000 years, going back to the Byzantine Empire, okay, going back to the so-called Dark Ages. That was black rulers, black kings, man. Classical music comes from us, man. Okay? First of all, who's the best at music now? You think it was different back then? It was the same thing. The knights, the ones who were good at the sports back then were the same ones that are good at sports back now. Well, no difference, man.
Good. It says, the legend rests on the narrative of annual tribute of 100 virgin maidens paid by the Christian.
Because hold on, that's the difference. Hold on, Salakia, brother. That's the difference between the pagan Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire. Is that the Israelites brought the Bible into it. They brought the Torah and the Tanakh. We brought the Torah and Tanakh into the rulership because we're tied to this book. We're tied to the scriptures. The Edomites are not tied to the scriptures. Okay, they were dealing with Jupiter and different gods, man. Go ahead, bro. Salakia, brother. Hold on. Let him read that. Salakia, that's my fault. Go ahead.
100 virgin maidens paid by the Christian kingdom of Asturias to the Muslim emirate of Cordoba, which were
Moors. Okay, because the Moors were Muslims, right? But guess what? The Christians were also black. Not just the Moors. The Christians were also black. Okay, the Saxons, like I said, the Danes, the Swedes at that time. Okay? Go ahead. All right? So that's showing you that what they like Edomite. Okay, even back then, and guess what? The Lord put in Jake's spirit to like them. Because even now Jake likes Edomite. Even now Jake is all into Edomite. That's one Jake in the world, man. Yo, he stopped dealing with his girl, right? He stopped dealing with his girl. I was trying to tell about it. I was like, yo, listen, I don't know, keep an eye, and then boom, boom, boom. It's like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm done with her, but I can't stop having sex with her. I don't know about the white woman. I just love having sex with her. All right, and he meant it from the spirit, like, he said, I just love laying with her. All right, so Jake got a demon. Got to eat white woman. All right, but it's true, bro. But Jake, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it was back then too. Jake was there dealing, and then the father was there coaching her. Yeah, do that. Yeah, but where you dress? Yeah, go there and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go to the court. Go to the court with this. Wear the mask. Yeah, wear the mask. Yeah, and then the spirit of Satan was with him. So that Jake would get weak, right? Jake would get weak, just like King Henry got weak to Lady Anne. All right, and the same thing would happen. All right,
This is Job 30 in verse 5. It says, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and in the caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed and
what does it mean they bray? Among the bushes they bray. That means right? So when you go into the cavemen, like how they go to the cavemen, they're actually, that's why they were living. That wasn't, they'll say it's millions of years. No, they were living like that. Okay? Grunting. They'll hit an Edomite woman over the head with a club, drag her to the cave and deal with it. This is what Esau was doing, man. Okay? But then he came, then the Lord brought him out of the cave, dusted him off a bit. All right? Gave him a new garment. And now he's the best thing since the matter from heaven, man. Go ahead. Yeah. What's your question? It's French or what's your question? Oui, c'est l'église de Yahushua. L'église de Yahushua, c'est le Seigneur. Yahushua, c'est le vrai nom du Seigneur et nous sommes l'église de Yahushua.
En français, il faudrait dire Yahushua.
Le Seigneur est noir. Il était noir. Il ressemblait comme nous.
Chai, c'est en anglais. Dire chai, c'est à cause c'est un anglophone, tu vas dire chai.
C'est qui il appelle avec ignorance.
En hébreu, ce ne serait pas
Parce que
chai.
son nom, c'est pas justement.
Oui, tu penses?
Comprends?
Chai.
Quand il était né, son père et son mère disaient, oh, Jésus.
Non, tu comprends pas. C'est en anglais, la prononciation, c'est chai. C'est juste à cause de son
Give me that
anglais.
in French where it speaks about
C'est la même chose.
knocked him off the horse. So he died.
chapitre 26, verset 14.
SHI,
ça dit
ça fait
ici,
shy en anglais.
et lorsque nous étions tous
En anglais,
tombés
puis
à
le
terre,
hébreu, c'est différent.
j'entendis une voix me parlant et disant dans la langue hébraïque, Saul, Saul, pourquoi me persécutes-tu? Il est dur pour toi de régimber contre les Égyptiens. Et je dis, qui es-tu, Seigneur? Qui es-tu? Et il dit, je suis Yahweh Shai.
C'est how it says.
Je suis Jésus que tu persécutes.
Oui, mais il ne disait pas ça pour vrai. Il disait, je suis Yahweh Shai.
C'est quoi?
Ah non.
Vous vous trompez, monsieur.
C'est ça, c'est ça.
Les Juifs étaient tellement noirs qu'on ne savait pas les trouver. Non, monsieur, c'est parce que je pense que je veux juste...
The president of Egypt.
Je pense que vous
They're the
n'entendez
president
pas
of Egypt.
bien. Je suis juif, mais moi je suis le plus clair de mon famille. Mon famille, ils sont tellement foncés que vous ne savez pas faire le distinction entre ce que vous dites noir.
Là, actuellement, je suis au nord.
Qu'est-ce que le président de l'Égypte avait dit en 1950 environ, ok?
50, attends, combien? 50 combien? Parce que
Je ne sais pas, 1950
vous êtes de quelle année,
environ.
monsieur?
Ouais.
Vous êtes né en quelle année? Vous êtes né en 1946, donc vous avez 83 ans.
Ok, so écoute,
non, vous avez...
écoute ça, ça va être en anglais, mais on va traduire pour toi, ok? Ça va être en anglais, mais on va traduire, parce qu'il disait ça en anglais.
Celui qui
On va
a
traduire.
70,
Ouais, show me
72.
the picture. Attends une seconde, show me the picture, show me the picture. Ça c'est le président de l'Égypte en 1958. Hein? Parce qu'il parlait de les Juifs, les Jews, ok, étaient dans le territoire d'Israël. Parce qu'il avait un conflit. Ouais,
It says, when he was asked about the peace in the Middle East, the late
quand il a été demandé de paix en le Middle East, c'est le Moyen-Orient, quand il demandait de paix dans le Moyen-Orient, translate. Non, écoute. Mais tu vas écouter ou non? Tu vas écouter ou non?
it says, when he was asked about the peace in the Middle East,
Pause. Tu comprends?
C'est pas le français.
Non, mais on va traduire pour toi. Attends une seconde.
Lorsqu'il a été demandé concernant l'affaire dans le Moyen-Orient,
Ouais.
the late president of Egypt,
le président d'Égypte,
Gamal Abdul Nasir,
son nom c'est comment la tour Nasir,
stated
il a dit
the Jews
les Jews,
will never be able to live here in peace
les Jews vont jamais être capables de vivre là dans la terre en paix. Pourquoi?
because they left here black
Parce qu'ils sont partis noirs,
but came back white.
mais ils sont revenus blancs.
That's a real statement. Hein? Mais c'est ça la question. C'est ça la question qu'il demande. C'est ça, c'est une déception, bro. Tu comprends pas? C'est une déception.
C'est ce que vous disiez de Jacob.
C'est une déception.
Non, mais attendez.
Tout. Give me Ezekiel 36. Okay. Give me Ezekiel
Parce que ceux qui sont,
Hold on, we're gonna get that scripture. No, say what you gotta say.
ceux qui sont présentement dans la terre d'Israël, la terre sainte, ne sont pas les vrais. Ceux qui sont dans la terre présentement ne sont pas les vrais peuples de Dieu. C'est une déception qu'ils ont utilisée.
La majorité. Et on a des sprinkles parce que notre peuple est scattered around. Mais la majorité, c'est
On ne peut pas dire la majorité. Le peuple d'Israël, il a été dispersé dans les quatre coins du monde. Ce soit à cause de leur désobéissance. Ils ont fait la rébellion contre leur Dieu. Le Dieu les a... Rébellion, désobéissance.
Et il allait en esclavage.
Pourquoi ils ne sont pas partis tous ça dans une direction?
Parce
Il y a
que
beaucoup de
c'est
peuples
pas le
qui ont
prophétie.
migré.
C'est pas le prophétie. C'est pas le prophétie.
Beaucoup de peuples qui ont
You got it, bro?
migré.
You got it, bro? Read.
Ézéchiel 36, le verset 15. C'est ça le verset 5. Ça dit, c'est pourquoi ainsi dit le Seigneur, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, assurément, écoute, assurément, dans l'ardeur de ma jalousie, j'ai parlé contre le reste des païens et contre Idoumé est tout entier. Le Seigneur a parlé contre Idoumé. Idoumé, c'est la vraie nationalité des autoproclamés en blanc et de ceux qui sont présents dans notre terre. Ceux qui sont dans notre terre
sont les Idomites.
Je suis désolé, mon frère.
Okay?
Si vous
Tout le monde dans
choisissez
la,
pas qui
planète
vous
a
celui
une
qui vous
nationalité.
écoute, même s'il
Okay?
entend.
Les Arabes sont les Ishmaélites dans le Bible. Okay? Sont les fils
Alors, si vous
d'Abraham.
avez un bon
Sont
message à
Ishmael.
partager,
Les Éthiopiens
pas que
sont
le frère
Cushites.
ici ne peut pas
Ça vient de
entendre le
Cush.
message.
Nous sommes les Israélites.
Mais c'est
Ok?
vrai,
Les personnes qui allaient dans l'esclavage sont les Israélites. Les Amérindiens sont aussi les Israélites. Notre frère, ok? Les soi-disant latinos sont les Israélites aussi. Ok? Les soi-disant blancs sont les Idomites. Et qu'est-ce qu'il avait fait? Il avait volé notre identité. C'est pour ça que tu penses que eux sont les vrais Israélites. Tu comprends? Mais nous sommes les Israélites. Le Seigneur était noir, ok? Son nom était Yahushua, pas Jésus-Christ. Yahushua, et il vient pour sauver nous de cette dernière captivité. Ok? De même façon et même plus magnifique qu'il avait fait en Égypte. C'est tout. Ouais, dit, c'est fini, on est fini. C'est tout.
Ouais, qui se sont attribués.
Non, il a eu un père, il a eu un père. Il a eu un père, il a eu un père. Oui, il en a qui.
Un monsieur comme ça, il faut pas commencer comme un enfant.
Spirituellement, son père c'est Dieu, mais son père physique c'est Joseph. Joseph revient de la tribu de Juda.
Et dans
Il était
un cas pareil,
pas comme tous les autres. Pas comme tous les autres. Il était un enfant spécial. Un esprit.
mais dans le cas de vous tous, si vous voulez vraiment qu'il y ait quelque chose qui se passe, c'est pour nous en regardant votre écran, en regardant. Personne ne veut accepter ce que vous faites.
La justice va venir, t'inquiète pas. Il faut être patient.
C'est pas une critique.
But anyways, we're off of that. Let's get back to what we were talking about before.
You understand me? Oh, okay.
I don't know, I said that like a minute ago, you know? I'm talking about Esau. Yeah, how he, right, how we used to rule the Europe. Right, exactly. Right, going back, right. Let's go into that. Let's go back into that. Go ahead, what you got? Let's get, did you recast it off of His Excellency? Read that.
This is the book of Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from His Excellency.
Right, they consult. Okay, meaning they have meetings, they had meetings about this. Okay, go ahead.
They delight in lies. They delight in lies.
They delight in lies. And the fact that they're not telling you they use the real royalty of Europe were the so-called black people going back to the Saxons, the Danes, things of that nature, that's all deception. All right? The fact that they took down these images and they painted over them so-called white people, that's all deception. Okay? And that's all psychological warfare. Okay? You Jakes got to understand that you're in the warfare right now. Go ahead.
Whoever wants
They
to
bless with their mouth.
They bless with their mouth.
Whoever wants to hear them,
I have no problem with you. I'm here to help. Go
Oh,
ahead.
But they curse inwardly.
But they curse inwardly. Go ahead.
Oh, that's the part I missed.
Psalm
Whatever he said is online.
And guess what? Oh, like I said before, they knew that they were Israelites. Okay, when they were ruling this present time, they knew that they were Israelites. When you watch the movie The Tudors, right? Like I said, King Henry VIII said in there, he said, oh, it threatens the line of Judah. It threatens the rulership of the line of Judah because he knew he came from the line of Judah. Okay? Because he understood his foreparents were Israelites. Okay? And they look like this. Okay? Those images you see when you type in on Google, Mozart, those are not the true images, man. Those are that's Renaissance art, man. Okay? That's what they did as a deception. Okay? When you go prior to the 1400s, guess what? They were dark images. They were images like this. We didn't draw this. I wasn't in the basement drawing this. This is old images. These are the true images. Okay?
Let me add two real quick.
Got a question.
Esau, he
Give
always
us a minute. Give us a minute. Go ahead.
Esau, he always did this whenever he comes into power. For example,
Yes.
we have the Ptolemaic Empire.
Yeah,
For him to have favor with the Egyptians, what did he do? He painted himself as Pharaoh in order to get favor from the Egyptians. You know, that's the same MO. He always comes back with the same thing, man.
Yep.
You know, a culture vulture.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yep, that's what he did. He made himself. He put himself as the image of Pharaoh. You know, that's very good. Go ahead.
They don't
You
care.
got something else?
Listen to them.
Which I believe Cleopatra did the same thing. I believe Cleopatra did the
Yeah.
same thing too.
I'm here
You know?
as a-
But she was an Edomite. You got
She
Jake,
wasn't-
oh, she's supposed to be black. No, you Jakes don't know history, man. She was a so-called white woman under the Ptolemaic Empire. She was not, first of all, she wasn't an original Egyptian. That's what you got to understand. She wasn't an original Egyptian. She was an Edomite playing an Egyptian.
Doesn't get what he's talking about.
The people.
What you got, bro?
Psalms
So,
8.
what's your question?
My question is, what do I do if I'm blind?
If you're blind,
Yeah, I'm blind.
blind to what? Spiritually?
I'm blind. What you're explaining here doesn't fit to somebody who's blind.
Oh, okay, spiritually you're
Because
blind.
me,
Well,
spiritually, I think only one God. And I'm Jewish. And there is only one God. So what fucking color is God?
Jeremiah 6.
Can you tell me what fucking color is God?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you.
Because
He's a so-called black.
I don't give a damn he's black or gray.
that's in the
the
Torah,
thing
too.
is that he's only one.
It's in the Torah and the Tanakh.
But what is the point?
But there's one, listen, the Muslims think there's one God.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, but don't you?
Huh?
Don't you?
Of course there's one God. But
Okay, so-
there's one right God. You see, there's many false gods.
No.
And they'll say, oh, Buddha's the only God. This is the only God. That's what our God has a name and he has characteristics. And he has a people. So
You said
we know
one God,
we're
for
talking
me is one God.
yeah, but that
the
doesn't
rest
mean
is no God.
That's vague. That's vague. That's very vague. That's one God. Okay.
No,
What does your God believe in? Oh, my God, he believes you can eat pork.
This is
Okay,
where-
well, that's not our God.
This
You
is
have a
where-
different God.
This is where you are wrong, because I don't say my God, your God, I say God.
But it doesn't matter what you say.
No, it doesn't matter
It doesn't
what I
matter what you
say.
say. There's one God, right?
Yeah,
There's one
one
God.
God.
But there's many wrong gods. Give me that God ring. God's name. Give me that. That's in the
Those are
Torah and
not
Tanakh
God.
too.
Those are
We know that. But they say it's God. You understand what I'm saying? They say it's God. You're saying your God is God.
No,
But who
I
is
don't
your
say my God is God.
But
I
who
don't
is
have my
your
God. It's not my
So I don't
God.
understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
You do understand.
What you got? Go ahead.
James 2:19. Thou believest that there is one power.
Yes.
Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. The devil
No,
also believes there is only
1
one.
Corinthians 6
He
and
Yeah,
verse
doesn't say
there's
you,
one right God.
mine,
There's one right
her,
God. That's the point. Go ahead.
his.
1 Corinthians
One.
8
And
and
we're
verse
all
4.
talking about the same
As
one.
concerning
That
thereof,
wasn't the right scripture.
Oh
Go ahead.
no, we're not talking
as
about the same
concerning
God.
thereof, therefore the eating of those things that are offered as sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol.
Listen. Hey, excuse me. If you're not gonna listen and gonna be disruptive, you could go up the street. Go ahead.
It says we know that an idol is nothing in the world,
Yeah.
and that there is no other God but one.
Uh-huh.
For though there be that are called gods,
There be that are called gods. Go ahead.
whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and
So
lords many.
there's gods many. Okay? The word God just means power. There's many people, many things that people call God, which are not real gods. So just because you say, I got one God, I believe in the one God. What? Okay. What one God? Our God, we know our God is the one God. And it's our God, possessive pronoun. Okay? Because we're Israelites. Okay? And that's what our God believes. If your God don't believe he has a people and that he's their power, then you're not dealing with the same God that we're dealing with. That's the God of the Bible. Go ahead.
It says, but to us,
Or the God of the Torah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It says, but to us, there is but one God.
Not same.
Go ahead.
It says, but to us, there is but one God,
But unto us, see, he's saying it as a possessive. He's saying unto us. Go ahead.
the Father of whom all are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach,
That's right.
by whom all things, and we by him.
You know, you guys say that you don't believe in Jesus. Do you know that Jesus is mentioned, or the Lord, not Jesus. His name is not Jesus. You know the Lord is mentioned in the Old Testament? You know that? You know it's mentioned that he had a son in Proverbs? You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, where? What verse? What
In
verse?
Isaiah, par exemple.
Where?
Dans Isaïe.
Oh, so you know.
Of course I
You
know, I'm Jewish.
Okay, but hold on. Let's get the one in Proverbs. Let's get the one in
Dans les
Proverbs.
proverbes
Let's
aussi.
get the one in
It's the book
Proverbs.
of Proverbs,
It's only
30,
chapter
30.
30 and verse 4.
Yep.
It says, who has descended up into heaven or descended?
You know this verse?
Who has gathered?
Read it, I know it.
Proverbs 30:4. Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment?
Yep.
Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
So that's showing you the Most High has a son. Okay? So his son came on the earth. He came on the earth. He fulfilled the prophecies of what he needed to fulfill. But you're saying you don't believe in his son.
Who says that?
You said that.
No,
You
no,
said
I
that
didn't say
earlier.
that.
Yes, you did. You said that earlier to the man. I heard you. I heard you say that. I heard you say that. So don't lie. If you're gonna lie, it's not gonna be a good. It's not gonna be a good conversation. All right. I heard you say that. Oh, we Jewish. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
No, I never said that because I'm a Messianic Jew.
Okay.
So I know what I said and I
Okay.
know very well what I did not say.
Okay.
Be careful how you call me liar.
Okay.
Because in the name of Jesus, you don't call me liar.
His name is not Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, you don't call me
His name is
liar.
not Jesus. You got the wrong name. You got the wrong name. Go ahead. You got the wrong name. Maybe I made a mistake.
Yeah,
If I did, I
most
apologize.
likely.
If I did, I apologize. Go ahead. I thought I heard you say that. Go ahead.
There's no apology.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy.
Still on the topic of the prophecy of Yahweh. Yeah, let's go into that.
This is Deuteronomy 18 and verse 18.
Yeah.
And I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren,
Right.
like unto thee. And I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Right, so that's what Yahweh Shai did. And who was he preaching to when he came on the earth? He was preaching to the Israelites. All the 12 disciples were what? Israelites. Okay? So that's who he was preaching to. All right? And he told them, don't go into the cities of the heathen. Maybe that, go enter ye not to the cities of the Samaritans. Okay? All right?
On Acts 1 and verse 6, when they were therefore, so like it says, when they were therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord,
Yep.
will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Well, thou at this time restore the kingdom to Israel, because the Israelites were not ruling at that time. They were under the Romans. Just like now, as Israelites were not ruling. We're in captivity under the Edomites still. Okay? Go ahead.
And it says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, right. So, in other words, the time is going to come where the Lord is going to establish the kingdom of Israel, but it's not it wasn't at that time. We're getting to that time. So when the Lord comes back now, what is he going to do? He's going to establish the kingdom of Israel. You see, they didn't understand that there's certain prophecies that had to come to pass.
Right, real quick. This is the book of Exodus 7 and 16. And thou shalt say unto him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me unto the God of the Hebrews.
So that's a possessive pronoun. Okay, that's dealing with the Israelites. It's not just the Hebrews, because there's many Hebrews. It's really mainly, specifically the Israelites.
Has sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness.
Because the service of the Most High is for us. Remember the Romans the 9th chapter? Right.
And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
Right. Go ahead.
Romans 9 and verse 1. I say the truth in Hamashiach.
Right, because if the true people of the Most High were ruling now in a position, guess what? This would be the kingdom of heaven. And it would be righteousness over the earth. There's not righteousness first. There's nothing but wickedness first. Pollution, destruction of the earth. All right? PDF files. All right? Alphabet lifestyle. Alternative lifestyles. Murder. Food. The tampering with the food. The food is all poison. Okay? Whoredom. Go ahead.
I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were cursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
So Paul, which was supposed to be they call him what, the apostle to the Gentiles. The Gentiles were not heathen nations. The Gentiles were Israelites, man, that went off from their customs. Okay, that's why there's a scripture where it says that you went away from the commonwealth of Israel. Right. Okay, because we became strangers. Right. Just like now in this society, we call ourselves black, Jamaican, Asian. All right, that means what? You became a stranger to what you really are supposed to call yourself, which is Israelites. Right.
My kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
Who are Israelites, go ahead.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
To whom belongeth. The word pertaineth means belonging. The adoption, which is what? The Lord dying on the cross and adopting the Heavenly Father back to us. Because as a nation, He cast us off at one time. He turned us back. But he had mercy because he loved us. He sent back his son. And because he had a promise to our forefathers. He sent back his son. Okay? Go ahead. To die for the sins of the nation. Give me that. It would be better that one die for the sin that all should perish. Guess what Caiaphas said that? Go ahead.
And the glory and the covenants.
Right. And the covenants, meaning the first and the second. All right? The first and the second. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law and the service of the Most High.
The service of the Most High. That all belongs to us as Israelites. It doesn't belong to these other nations. A Moabite can't, an Edomite or a Moabite can't hop up and say, I'm going to serve the Most God. I'm going to serve the Most High. It can't work. It doesn't work that way. What they have to do is they have to serve us. Okay, as the Israelites. That's what it's going to be in the kingdom. They're going to serve us because we're going to be the kings and the priests on earth. Right.
And the promises,
Yes, sir.
whose are the fathers, and of who, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
So who did he come for? The Israelites, as we just read. Okay? He didn't come for any other nation. All right? Right. And just because you say you're Israelite don't mean you're Israelite. Right.
Who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
This is John 18 and verse 14. It says, now Caiaphas was he.
Caiaphas.
Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people.
You walk up and the whole nation should perish. Another one. Not the whole nation. All right? Got it? Okay, go ahead.
This is St. Matthew 15 and 24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So the Lord said himself, he's not sent except to the lost sheep of Israel. He said he's not sent to the lost sheep of Israel. Hey, listen, if you can't be in order, hey, my God, if you can't be in order, go up the street. Okay? You see people, listen, if you can't be in order, go up the street. Go ahead.
Je ne comprends pas ce que tu dis, monsieur.
Va marcher. Go ahead.
Non, je suis bien.
Si tu veux interrupter, va marcher. Go ahead.
Non, you are
This
interrupting
is John
me.
11 and verse 49.
Maybe you can do this in your little Jewish place, but you can't do that here. Go ahead.
Ah bon? Qui a dit
Maybe
ça?
you can do that
Who
in your
said
little
that?
synagogue. I said that.
Who?
Maybe you can do that in
Who are
your
you?
synagogue, but you can't do that here.
Who are you?
Because you guys don't keep the law. If you kept the law,
You keep the law?
If you kept the law, you'd be humble, you'd be shut your mouth. Go ahead.
If you
Not
kept the
running
law,
your
you
feet.
wouldn't die.
Because you know what? Because men is over women. You know that, right?
If you
According to
kept-
the Bible. You know that, right?
if you
You know
kept-
that, right?
if you
Yes
kept
or no?
the law-
Yes or no? Yes or no?
If
Go
you
ahead,
kept the
man.
law,
And
you would
shut
not
up.
do me
Just shut
like
up and
this.
go to the street. I'm tired.
You are not keeping the
Go
law
ahead,
of the
man.
Christ.
This is
And
John.
you're not an Israelite, okay? You're an Edomite. Let me inform you. You come from the nation of Edom.
When you point
come
someone-
from the nation of Edom. I'll put you with 5 fingers. You come from the nation of Edom.
When you point
You
someone
come,
from
you
the
come from the
finger, you
nation of
point to
Edom.
yourself
You come
twice.
from the nation of Edom. You come from the nation of Edom. Go ahead, man.
Amen.
This is
Idomi Caleb. That's you. Go ahead.
this is John 11 and verse
We're
49.
not playing with you, man.
don't
We are
care
the
about
Israelites,
your
man.
mouth.
The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true Israelites according to the Bible. We are the descendants of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Go ahead. Which is the wicked. That's why the earth is so messed up now, because of you. Go ahead.
This is John 11
All right.
verse 49.
We go get the whole that
And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people,
Yep.
and that the whole nation perish not.
That's it. And that really he prophesied here. Okay? That one man shall die for the people, which was Yahweh Shai, and that the whole nation perish not. Because that's what Yahweh Shai coming back was all about. The Lord coming back was to redeem us. Okay? The reason you Israelites are in this condition now is because, first of all, it's a punishment from the Most High. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Right? And guess what? Deuteronomy 28, these things that were supposed to happen was actually a sign of who the Israelites are. If you don't fit the sign, you're not an Israelite. Go ahead. All right, what you got?
This is the book of Luke 1 and 58. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people.
And that's what he did with the Lord. That's why he said we were bought with a price. Because redeem means to buy back.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
That's right.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
That's right. That's
That
right.
we should be saved from our enemies
And we're going to be saved from our enemies. And this is one of our enemies.
and from the hand of all that hate us.
And all these Edomites, and really all these other nations are
How
not.
can you qualify
Go
me
ahead.
as an enemy?
They're enemies. That's why they don't like the truth coming out. That's why when the truth comes out, they interrupt. That's why, because they're enemies. And this truth is what they don't want you gents to receive. That's why anytime you see, especially an Amalekite, whenever they came up, they try to disrupt the truth. I'm this, I'm that. And they try to disrupt the truth. Go ahead.
This is Matthew.
Go ahead.
This is Matthew 1 and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh,
right.
for he shall save his people from their sins.
Yeah, and it says he's going to save all nations. It says he's going to save his people. Okay? And we're showing you who his people are. The 12 tribes of the nation Israel, people on this sign, and they're scattering around the earth that may not look like the people on this sign, but they're still of our nation. Go ahead. What you got?
Titus 2 and 13. Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great power and our Savior Yahushua HaMashiach, who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people.
And that's what he's doing, starting with us, starting with the brothers coming out on the highways and the byways, and the rest of the elect, brothers and sisters that are listening and learning and being built up in the spirit of Yahushua. Okay? That's what it started. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's nothing Esau, nothing the army can do, nothing the police force can do to stop it. This is of the Most High.
Right.
This ain't of man, this is of the Most High.
Right.
This is of his son, Yahushua.
That's right.
This is unstoppable what we're doing. That's what I'm talking about. Man. Go ahead.
like the
Well, the police just came up before, they were waving at us, man. Because it's a spirit that's guiding us, man.
Right.
But there's going to be a time when we're going to be off the street. And that's when all hell is about to break loose.
That's right.
And that means we're so much closer to Yahushua coming back. Beautiful. Let's go.
This is 2 Corinthians 13 and
Read this, please.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do his commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon
And
thee.
this is what, Jake, when you read the book of Judges, what is the book of Judges? It's about our people constantly going against what the Most High said. They'll do righteousness for like a couple of years, and then they'll do wickedness, and then the Lord will put them in slavery. All right? They'll do wickedness, and then the Lord will put them in slavery. They'll get back right. They might get a righteous king of Judah, and then they'll do some wickedness and go back into slavery. That's what the whole book of Judges is about. Where are we at now? We're at our last slavery.
Right.
The last slave. This is it. Okay? In this slavery, Yahushua is coming back to deliver us, man. Let me draw the 3rd chapter, brother. Let me draw the 3rd chapter. Go ahead.
It says that all these curses shall come upon thee,
Right.
and overtake thee.
Yes.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now, curse shall not be in the city, curse shall not be in the field. That goes into what? The ghettos, right? The real ghettos, not the self-imposed ghettos. The real ones. You know about those ones? You know about the real ones? The hood? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Jump into verse
The
20.
projects. Now, that's the worst place to live, the projects. And all of our people up in the projects. Or the barrios, the barrios out there in Brazil. Who's living over there? Our people. The Israelites. Go ahead. Favelas. But don't they call them barrios? Okay, the favelas in Brazil. Okay, so go on. Go ahead.
Verse 20,
Yep.
the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do,
Yep.
until thou be destroyed.
Yes. So this is why Jake is trying to get up and, oh, what about P. Diddy? What about... Those are a very small minute of our people that make it. And they got to sell out to these our enemies. Okay, these devils, they got to sell out to them and do all kind of wicked, evil acts even to go forward. Because these people are the people of Satan. Go ahead.
It says,
That's why it's known as Holly Weird. Because they got to do weird shit. Okay? They got to do weird stuff. They got to do foul sexual acts. And as many people came out and said that, man.
Exactly.
That secret door that they got in those parties, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was watching, I tried watching the Babylon movie with Brad Pitt.
Really?
5 minutes.
You couldn't?
5 minutes. I was like, yo, what is this?
And that was
Yeah, it was all sorts of filthy. 5 minutes into the movie, all sorts of madness.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I was trying to eat too, you know?
and that was a
Huh? They debuted from the start. I was like, yo, what is this?
but the thing is, I think that was the beginning of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
That's what I call Babylon. That's spiritual. That's spiritual. Listen, man, Esau knows what's up. Esau knows what's up. He's listening to the prophets.
Just basically, I couldn't even, I was trying to watch a movie while eating.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes in, like, yo, I can't eat and watch it. No, just shut it all down.
You know what? You're not gonna be able to watch it. It's not low. All we can watch is the reviews on that. That's how foul that is. The only thing we can meet in brother, we can only watch the reviews, and the reviews were foul enough. Go ahead, man.
Jump to verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope by noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness.
He shall leave his children. Give me that.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
That's why when Jake crosses each other, they got that look against each other. That's like an evil look. You know what I'm saying? So that goes back to these curses. Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward
but an Edomite could pass. They won't give the Edomite that same look. Okay? But they'll give a Jake that look. Another one of his people.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall leave. So that goes into part of the curses, the fatherless household. Okay? That goes back to what the Lord said would happen if we didn't obey his law, statutes, and commandments. Which proves that we are the Israelites. Which proves that we are the people. And proves that they are not. Read that again. That last one.
Pronounce good, articulate.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Right, which he shall. That's where you get the fatherless household. That's why the so-called black community is in goddamn shambles. If the father was in the house, guess what? Most of the violence, most of the shit you see, the crime and stuff, it wouldn't happen at all. Okay, but guess who set it up? People like this, the one whispering in the back.
Not whispering.
Barbara Streisand. What's her name? Barbara Streisand. I think she was one of your people. Barbara Streisand, right? She came with the feminist movement and she brought it to the black women. And then that's where you get that image they're going like this. And she was a stone cold racist, man. But what was her job? To destabilize the black family.
So you don't consider
and then you're gonna have to pay for all of that.
racist?
You're gonna have to pay for all of that.
And
you're gonna have to pay for all of that.
You
You're
don't
gonna have to pay for all of that.
Yeah,
You
okay.
and your whole nation.
Wait.
You're gonna have to pay for all of that. Oh, you best believe me.
Oh, you
Look
don't-
at my eyes. Do I look like I disprove
False,
that? You
Pilat.
look like I don't believe that?
You washing
I'm
your
telling you
hands?
the facts. I'm
Are you
telling the
washing your
facts.
hands?
I'm telling you the facts.
Are you washing your hands?
Are you washing your
Ponce
body?
Pilate.
Are you washing your crotch?
Ponce
Go ahead.
Pilate.
Verse 56, the tender and delicate woman
Go ahead.
among you,
Your brother loves
which
to hear
should,
himself.
which should not
Loves to hear
venture
himself.
to set her soul.
No, you
the
love to
sole
hear
of
me
her
too.
foot.
That's why you're still here.
I'm sorry,
You love to
brother.
hear me
You
too.
love
That's
to
why
hear
you're still here.
yourself. You
You love to hear
listen
me
to
too.
the Lord.
You love to hear me too. That's why you're still here. Why don't you stick around?
I listen
Why don't
to-
you stick around? Why don't you stick around? Why don't you sit? Why don't you take a seat?
Hey,
Go ahead.
hey.
And the tender and delicate.
Or you could go get some shoe polish. Okay, and my shoes need some polishing. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
tender and
you don't
delicate
take
woman
care of
Go
among
get
yourself.
some shoe polish.
You
man,
do
and a
not
rag.
take care of
Get
yourself.
some shoe
Because
polish.
if you had
Get
taken
some
care
shoe
of your
polish.
shoes,
Get
then
some
maybe
shoe
we-
polish. Get some shoe polish and shine my shoes,
No
man.
respect.
Respect for who? For a dog? Get out of here. Go ahead, man.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness
We
and
don't talk
tenderness.
about God
Her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her
we
bosom,
don't talk about
and
God
towards her
and
son,
back on
and
people.
towards her
We
daughter.
don't talk about
So that's all
God
part of
and
the curses.
back on people.
Let's
We don't talk
go
about God
to
and
Deuteronomy
shit on
28
people,
and
and we don't talk about God
Deuteronomy
and
28
send people
and
away.
verse
If you
64,
want to talk about
and the Lord
God,
shall
you
scatter
don't
thee
listen to
Go to your
yourself.
God.
all
You
people.
listen to what
Go
God
find
has to
Christ.
say to you.
Go find Christ.
And what God
Where's
has to
Christ?
say to you
Where's
is
Waldo?
love
Where's
for
Christ?
others,
Go ahead.
respect for others,
And the Lord shall
love.
scatter thee
Yes, brotherhood.
among
Yes,
all people,
brotherhood. Love
from
for
one end of
others.
the earth
Love
even
for
unto the
Jesus.
other.
Love for others.
And
But
there
you don't want
thou
people
shalt
to
serve
do to
other
you,
gods,
do to people.
which neither thou nor
Oh,
thy
don't worry,
father
you ain't gonna be
know.
doing nothing.
No, you don't tell someone that
Your
it's
time is
God.
up. Your time is up.
You don't
You've
tell
done enough. You've
someone
done
that
enough.
it's
Your time is
God.
up.
You
You've done
don't
enough.
tell
Your time is
someone
up.
that it's
Now it's your
God.
turn. Now it's
You
your
don't
turn.
treat
Now
someone
it's
as
your
a
turn.
God.
Go ahead.
You do
It
not
says-
tell someone
It
that
says,
it's a
which neither thou
God.
nor thy
If
fathers
you
have
tell
known,
someone that it's
even
a God,
wood
it's
and
not
stone.
written in the Bible.
Lord, calm the-
Is it
Yeah,
written in the
but-
Bible to tell your brother God?
I mean, say what
Is
you
it
want.
telling?
Go ahead.
Is it written in
But
the
say
Bible to
quick.
tell your brother God?
So you can read.
Is it written in the Bible
Oh, read,
to tell
read,
your
read,
brother
read,
God?
Verse
Is
50.
it
You're not
written
our
in the
brother.
Bible?
You're not our brother,
Is
nor
it
your
written
sister.
in the Bible to
You're
tell your
not our
brother
brother.
God?
You're not
I
our
got
brother,
not
nor your
wanted to
sister.
do.
Go ahead.
In the name of
And
Jesus,
among these nations
nothing says
shalt
in the
thou find
Bible
no ease,
to tell your brother
neither
God.
shall the soles of thy feet have
In the
rest.
Bible
Right.
says,
But the
do
Lord
to
shall
your
give thee
enemy
there
what
a
you
trembling
want
heart,
to do to you.
and a failing of
Love your
eyes,
brother
and sorrow
the way
of mind.
And that's what you
love
have.
your
Everywhere you've been
enemy.
scattered,
Love
you
your
have it.
enemy.
You know, a trembling
Love your
heart,
brother.
a sorrow
The
of eyes.
one that does
Okay?
bad to
Jake's
you,
is going through
the one
curses.
that you
Jake is
must
going through
love.
stuff.
In
Right?
the
And
name
thy
of
life
Jesus.
shall hang in doubt before
And
thee,
life-
Yep.
and thou
Yeah.
shalt fear day and night, and shall have no
Peace.
assurance of
Well,
that
when
life.
the police pull up behind Jake, when the police pull up behind the so-called black guy,
themselves.
you go, oh shoot, it's innate. You kind of, they get the feeling,
Yeah.
which I don't, the only feeling I get is like that. I don't want to be stopped, but I don't get a feeling like, oh, for my life, especially like in
Nobody's gonna
America,
stop you. Your
especially in
brother
America.
love to hear you.
It's like that because they like, they're trigger happy over there. They like to kill Jake over there.
That's
Over here, there ain't so much guns, so they don't have an excuse like that. You know? Right.
says-
Over there, people have guns a lot. What?
And thou shalt fear day and night,
Yep.
and shall have no assurance of thy life.
Right.
In the morning,
and slavery was like that as well, right? You go to a certain place, they show you that 12 years of slave. You have to have the tag. Now, where you going? And while he was walking to go there, he saw a bunch of crackers hanging a couple Jakes, a couple Israelites, a couple so-called black men, okay? Right while he was going to go get what he had to get, okay? For that slave master, right? But he had to have that. If he didn't have that, they would have lynched him for fun. Because that's how these devils get down. Go ahead.
verse 67, in the morning thou shalt say, with the Most High it were even. And at even thou shalt say, with the Most High it were morning.
Yeah.
With the fear of thine heart therewith thou shalt fear.
If you want to if you want to record us, we're going to record you. I'll just let you know that. If you want to record us, we're going to record you. We're going to make you famous. Go ahead.
And for the sight of thine eyes,
If you want to be famous, that's up to you. Go ahead. I'll let you decide. And if she starts putting on the camera, put the camera right in her face. Right in her face. Go ahead.
No,
and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
No, don't do it yet. Let's see what she does. Okay, go ahead. Put it on.
photo for my memory.
Put the camera on. Put the camera on. Go ahead.
It says, and the Lord shall bring thee
Yep.
into Egypt again with ships,
Yep.
by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Yep.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies,
Yep.
for bondmen and bondwomen,
Yep.
and no man shall buy you.
Yeah, all the way around. Yeah, do the 12. Yeah, do the 12. Well, no, keep reading, brother. Keep reading. Yeah, follow. Go ahead.
It said- I'm going to read it again.
Yeah, that's right.
It says,
Keep it on her ass.
and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
Right.
with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Yeah.
And there ye shall be
We're going to
sold,
make you famous. We'll send it to your job, too. Go ahead.
and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, with bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Job, I think about leaving, starving to death. Go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel 9 and 12, and he hath confirmed his word, which he spake
Okay, now
against us.
keep it on us now.
And against
She's behaving herself. Go ahead.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us,
Yeah.
and against our judges
Right.
that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
Right, the great evils was, one of the main things was there was plagues, but there was slavery. Right? This, like I said, this was the last slavery that we're going to go through. And after this, the Lord is going to put us over these other nations, which is our rightful place as highborns. Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven hath not been done as it hath been done.
Right, under the
upon-
whole heaven, no nation has went through what we went through as Israelites. The scriptures tell you that.
Yeah.
So, right there, you're disqualified. Okay? Because nobody went through what we went through, not even close. On the boats, you know, if we bring out the documents right now, man, they were eating certain people on the boats. They used to cut up, they would take a guy, they would cut him up, and they would actually serve him to the other slaves to eat.
Sure.
That's just a little ounce of it. Listen, man, the sharks still follow that transatlantic slave trade route to this day. You gotta say it like y'all think about it. To this day, they follow that route. That show you how much of a feast they had and how much slaves they would shoot off the boats, man. And they would make sure they shot a slave off the boat and make sure they'd be chained so we could get fucking put to death. They didn't have no mercy, zero mercy. That's why the Lord said there shall be no mercy to them that showed no mercy. We don't give a damn if they cry and scream and squeal.
That's
They can
what
cry and
you're showing,
squeal all
yeah?
they want. This is the judgment of the Lord. Go ahead.
With no mercy, that's what
Lamentation.
And the ones of our people that don't want it, they're gonna die with you. We don't care. Okay? Because they're not of the elect, they're not of the chosen. There's the chosen people, but then there's the chosen amongst the chosen. We hope. Go ahead.
Real quick, it says, for under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
Right. Listen, man, none of them people went through what the so-called Native Americans went through, right? Which those are our brothers. They went through the same level of torment as us. Which Judah, actually, the kingdom of Judah probably went through a bit more, because Judah was constantly surrounded by top enemies. Constantly, even after slavery, they were surrounded by them, and they were constantly lynch them, constantly destroy their towns. There's about 100 and something black towns that were drowned out, and that now are lakes that they don't speak about in the history. They don't speak about it at all in the history. But guess what? We're here. The Lord sent his prophets down, man, to tell you the truth, to pull back the veil, man. Go ahead, man.
Lamentation 4 and 22.
And I need Joel 3.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished.
The punishment of your iniquity is accomplished. Okay, go ahead.
O daughter of Zion.
Oh, daughter of Zion, the Israelites. That's why I told you, this is the last slavery. This is the last captivity that we've been in. After this, there's no more. Go ahead.
He will no more carry thee away into
He
captivity.
will no more carry thee away into slavery. I told you, this is the last one. This was the final one. This is why we understand the whole book now. See, the prophets of old that wrote down the visions, they didn't understand the visions that they wrote down. Okay? They were just recording images and things that they heard and saw. They didn't fully understand all the things that they wrote down. Like Daniel, he didn't know what the beast, the goat was, the rough goat was all about, because the Greeks didn't come into power. Go ahead.
He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom.
Yeah. Oh,
He
daughter
will-
of Edom. Now, who are the Edomites? The Edomites are the so-called white people, okay? And the people that are in our land. For the most part, those are Edomites. All right? Go ahead.
He will discover thy sin.
And he's going to discover your sin. He'll peel back the, oh, you've done this, that. Oh, wow. I got something for you, man. And you think the Lord is happy with you? The Lord is very, very displeased with the Edomites. That's right.
Because you know how
Go
the
ahead.
Lord is with the others.
Daniel 12 and 4.
Absolutely. We know the mind of the Lord because we are his sons. Go ahead.
Daniel 12 and 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be
And knowledge
increased.
shall be increased, right? And the knowledge, the most important knowledge is being increased. The knowledge of the scriptures, man. All right? That's what you want to read. Okay. Let me bring up the scripture.
Isaiah 60 verse 10, the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had
In his
mercy
wrath
on
he
thee.
smote us, because we read the curse in Deuteronomy, right? In his wrath he smote us, but guess what? Go ahead.
But in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
But he's going to have mercy. The main mercy was him sending back Yahweh, that which sealed the deal that we would get the new covenant. Which sealed the deal we would be over the nations forevermore.
And you, brother, you don't sin.
Go ahead.
You, brother, you don't sin.
That's all. Bring it.
No sin on you.
This is
No
from
sin on you.
the book, the Black Jacobins.
Jacobins, that's one of the Jacob.
Who doesn't answer
Page
concerns?
12, it says, but there was no ingenuity that fear or depraved imagination could devise which was not employed. It says, but there was no ingenuity that fear or a depraved.
So like, hold that for a second, brother.
It says, the slaves received the whip with more certainty and regularity than they received their food. It was the incentive to work and the garden of discipline. But there was no ingenuity that fear or depraved imagination could devise which was not employed to break their spirit and satisfy the lusts and resentment of their owners and guardians.
Right, which are these Edomites, which is a spiritual hatred. Okay, so they receive whips more than they receive food. Right? So what are we going to do to them in the kingdom? We're going to have fun, man. We're going to have fun wreaking vengeance. Read that again.
Is it written in your Bible? Tell your brother.
It says, but there was no ingenuity that fear or depraved
Listen
imagination.
to what your forefathers did. Listen to what your forefathers did.
But there was no ingenuity that
No, our forefathers never did anything like that. Go ahead.
that fear or depraved imagination could devise which was not employed to break their spirit.
And thinking about the Israelite slaves that you got in slavery, so-called blacks. You know about that? You know about that? I have no. What happened to Israelite slaves? When?
And,
Goddamn liar.
and satisfy the lust
Yeah.
and
Because
resentment
they have nothing but lust and hate in their heart. She's just like she still has lust and hate. But she's acting like she loves you. Go ahead.
of their owners and
Because
guardians.
if she didn't have love to hate, she would go get a shoe shine box and shine my shoes.
You're
all the
talking
wickedness
about
she's done.
hate.
For all the
You're talking
wickedness
about
she's done
hate.
already. Go ahead.
I didn't
Go
say
ahead.
the word.
Go
No,
ahead.
Irons.
You
On the
are
hands.
accusing others of hate, but it's the
says
word
irons
hate come out of your
on the
mouth.
hands and feet.
The hate.
Blocks of wood that the slaves had to drag behind them wherever they
Blocks
went.
of wood. They had the blocks of wood, and they did that just for spite.
the word hate came out of his mouth.
If you stay in front of the camera, I'm
His
gonna
mouth.
send that to your work.
The
If you
hate
stay in front of
doesn't
the camera,
come
10 more
from
seconds, I'm gonna
nobody
send that to
else's
your work.
mouth.
Go ahead. It says,
The one who talks about hate is the one
plate
who
mask designed to
proposed
prevent
it.
the slave
I'm sorry
eating
to say.
the sugar cane. The iron color. Whipping was interrupted in order to pass a piece of hot wood on the buttocks of the victim. Salt, water.
Read that again.
It says,
Yeah, read it
it
again,
says
don't hear.
whipping.
And give me that. Should be no mercy for them that show no mercy. Go ahead.
It says whipping was interrupted.
Let me Revelations 3:9.
It says
In Isaiah 14.
It says whipping was interrupted in order to pass a piece.
Oh, follow y'all about Shimmy
Si tu parles, on peut pas entendre. Qu'est-ce qu'il dit?
Whipping was interrupted in order to pass a piece of hot wood on the buttocks of the victim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Salt, pepper,
Yeah, then they added salt and pepper in it just to make it torturous. Go ahead.
citron, cinders, aloes,
Citron.
and hot ashes were poured on the bleeding wounds.
Yep.
Mutilations were
On the bleeding wounds. This is what these devils did. Now they're trying to tell you about the law. Go ahead.
Mutilations were common, limbs, ears, and sometimes the private parts to deprive them of the pleasures which they could indulge in without expense.
Devils, man.
The masters.
But they think they're going to go unpunished then. Oh, give me that. Oh, the cup shall pass through the deep. Give me that. Go ahead.
It says, their masters poured burning wax on their
Mother,
arms and hands,
whatever
and
you
shoulders,
think,
emptied the
I will
boiling
pray for you
cane
guys.
sugar over their heads,
As brothers.
burning them alive, roasted them on slow fires.
Roasted them on slow fires, man. All right, so
A
they
little
treated- they
fool
treated
to
Jake-
think
they
that
treated the sons
you
of
are
God
in the right
like
and
you
the
treat
others
that
are in the
rotisserie
wrong.
chicken, man. You see that? And they think they're not going to be paid back for that, man. They think the Most High ain't going to pay them back for that, man. They think they're just going to go right up in the sunset. Or they're sadly mistaken, man.
And you should be careful who you follow.
It says,
He's the
he
leader.
made them eat their excrement and drink their urine.
Oh, man. Nah, that's why you devils, man. You got something coming to you, man. Go, got that? The cup, read that, man.
Jeremiah 49 and verse 12.
Devils gotta go.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk it.
Which was us, the Israelites. What was in the cup? Slavery, destruction, all right, hatred, okay, genocide. Go ahead.
And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Are you he that shall altogether go unpunished? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go unpunished,
Thou shalt not go unpunished. Go ahead.
but thou shalt surely drink of
You're
it.
going to drink every last bit of that cup.
Don't waste
It's
the
gonna go- it's gonna go
water.
all the way down your
Do
throat. Don't
not
worry,
waste
don't
the
worry,
water.
Don't worry. It's gonna
I
be
am worried.
You're going to be fetching water. You're going to be fetchers of water. And you are of wood. Don't worry. I'll have plenty in the kingdom. Go ahead,
It
man.
says, for I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord,
I love
that
the way you
Basra
judge others.
shall become a desolation,
Keep
a
judging
reproach,
others.
a waste, and a curse.
A waste and a curse. That's what you're going to be. A waste and a curse. Go ahead. Listen to your future. Listen to your future. Go ahead.
And all the cities thereof shall be
Because you're not
perpetual
going to be
waste.
shopping at Stokes in the future. You know what I'm saying to you? You're going to be having those jewels, those little fakes. You're not going to be having that on in the kingdom. There ain't no Edomite going to be wearing no gold in the kingdom. It's going to be illegal. It will be illegal. Go ahead.
And it says, James 2,
What
verse,
about the dog word, Judah? Does it make sense? Go ahead.
James 2 and verse 13, for he shall have judgment without mercy, that has shown no mercy.
You have judgment without mercy to them that showed no mercy. Go ahead.
And mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
And mercy rejoicing against judgment.
Tu devrais arrêter de
Go
juger
ahead,
les
bro.
Come
autres.
in.
Psalms 149
Read it
and
nice
6.
and loud.
Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen,
I'm watching this stuff.
and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetter of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written.
Woo, the judgment written, which we're reading.
Yeah, but it's God that's going to do the judgment,
Damn
not
right.
you,
Oh, but he
brother.
said he's going to use us.
Not you,
Give me that.
brother.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. He's going to use us. He's going to use us.
Yeah, but once you're going to be up there, if you get up there.
Oh,
This is
If you get up
You're right.
there.
No, you're right.
This honor have
I
all his
agree.
saints.
I agree.
If you get up there.
You're right. Right? But once the Israelites get up there, once the elect get up there, oh, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Brother,
You're in trouble.
I will be beside you.
Go ahead.
I will be right
You
beside
will
you.
not. I promise you, you're not going to be beside
Don't
me.
make promesses.
You're not going to be nowhere next to a church. I promise you.
This the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25.
You have to be an Israelite first.
I'll be there.
You're not an
Ezekiel.
Israelite. How can you be in the church?
Ezekiel.
No, hold on. You were still reading.
So that's it. This honor happened. Okay,
Non, non, je ça va pas servir.
from the top, Psalms 149 and 6.
Isaiah 14.
Mais laisse-le lire.
Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and the two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishment upon the people,
Punishment upon the people, go ahead.
to bind their kings with
The
chains.
kings, all them rulers, them, what's that guy, what's that, Benjamin Netanyahu, right? That devil, all y'all gonna get bound up. Oh, King Charles, all right, they're gonna get bound up too, okay? Justin Trudeau, they're gonna get bound up too, okay? Joe Biden, he gonna zombie wife is still alive. He's probably dead because it's gonna be in America. But any one of these devils that's still alive, Macron, all right, they're gonna be bound up in chains.
That's right.
Right.
And their nobles with feathers of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written.
That's right.
This honor of all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
The saints are the Israelites. Okay, only the Israelites are saints, which goes back to being
If you don't
sanctified.
speak with conviction,
All right?
nobody
Go ahead.
hears you.
Get Isaiah 14. Get Isaiah 14.
Isaiah 14, in verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
He will choose who?
And will yet choose
He
Israel,
will choose the true Israelites. Go ahead.
and set them in their own land.
Bring it out.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall...
You got a minute to hear the words, sister? A minute to hear the words, sister? Brother, where you going? Oh, you lying. Scripture said thou shalt not lie. Shit is straight out, man. Go ahead, man.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over the oppressors.
And we're going to rule over our oppressors, which are these heathens. It was starting with the Edomites. Okay, that's the top enemy that we got. Okay, and we're going to rule over them. That's why I told her to go get her shine box, man. All right? But she perceived she was an Edomite, man. Okay, go get your shine box, go get a cloth or whatever you got to get, man. You see my shoes need fucking cleaning, man. Right? What's wrong with you, man? Listen, man, I'm tired of these Edomites. And you know that's an Amalekite. You know that's an Amalekite.
Yeah.
What I say about Amalekites, man? They come with that aggressive, hewing their lies aggressively, man. Go ahead, man.
Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt
But
be
you're
cut
also
off.
the main ones who tell you how much they love you. Yeah. That's the thing about Amalek too. They tell you how much they love you and how much they we're brothers. But they ready to treat your brother that way. First of all, you're a woman. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the top enemy telling him he's our brother. You didn't even let us pass in Egypt. How can you be our brother? Good.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
That's right.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
That's right. And they're going to be cut off forever, man. And that's why she said, oh, if you make it up there. If I make it up there, what? You're right. No, you're right. If I make it up there, Lord willing, I do. I pray humbly to the Lord that I do make it up there. Okay? But if I make it up there, whether it's me or any other the elect, you're in big trouble. You Edomites are in big trouble, man. Okay? And your whole nation is in trouble. Not just one Edomite. We're not just coming to get Columbus, you know? Oh, we gotta dig up Columbus. Right? Joe Biden, all just them. No, the whole nation of Edom is going to pay, man. The scripture said that the cup shall pass through unto thee. Go ahead.
Revelation 2 and 6. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shiver, even as I have received of my Father.
Well, even as I received of my Father. Actually, I don't want this one. You want to trade? Okay, that's it? You want to speak on it?
No, basically, yeah, again, we're going to, when we come back down, if you overcome and you get beamed up, when you come back down, the Lord will make you a joint heir, and then you have dominion over the nations. That's one of the blessings that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has prepared for those that love Him.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, bro. Well, I'm watching. Real quick before you go, please. Tell me the time. You see?
153.
Okay, click the one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and has greatly offended and revenged themselves upon them. Therefore, thus said the Lord,
Who's Judah? So-called African Americans, man. That's Judah. Okay? Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman. And
So he's going to cut you Edomites off, man.
Right.
What don't you get about that? Where do you get God loves everybody? Go ahead.
And day of the dawn shall fall.
You have to pay. You did some wickedness, man. You got to pay, man. You did all this wickedness as a nation of people. You think that's it? Right? No, that's why these Edomites are always banking that the Most High doesn't exist. Because that's their best bet. If the Most High didn't exist, but he exists. That's his name means he exists. So you lose. Right. So
It says, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and day of the dawn shall fall by the sword.
right, right? Go ahead.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom.
And so it's his vengeance. We're talking about us. Oh, you're mad at slavery. No, the Most High is mad at what you did.
That's right.
And he's going to pay punishment for it. That's what you did to the natives, what you did to the so-called blacks, which are all Israelites, man. It starts with him, man. And he's going to have to pay, man. That's it. Go ahead.
And I will lay my vengeance upon
Whose
Edom.
vengeance? The Lord's vengeance. How about you now? Go ahead.
Upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
By the hand of his people Israel. That's what they're not telling you. We're going to do it. He's going to use us. But yeah, after we get back from them shits, give me Revelation 21.
Right? It says, and they shall go, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
That's right. And we're going to do in Edom according to the fury of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And we're going to have fun doing it. Oh, that mind shall meditate. Okay, we're going to have fun, man. All right? And they're convicted. They stay. I don't know why they stay up. You ain't going to be able to sleep the same, bro. Okay? You ain't going to be able to sleep the same after that, man. What you got? You got something else?
Revelation 21 and 1.
Yeah.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more
She
sea.
might have a slavery dream tonight, man. Okay, she might dream she's actually shining my shoes. You know? And then I say, no, when she come to do that, she get punished because that's too high of a rank for her. She should be out in the field, man.
That's right.
Yeah, that's, no? Right, verse 2. Where you did I said, nah, don't do it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Devils, man. Because we're not that camp to kiss the boot camp. Okay? We're not that camp. We'll do that in the kingdom, man. But I just want to put her in a damn place, man. I don't know what the fuck she thinks she is, man. Completely out of fucking order. Go ahead, man.
Verse 2.
Start talking to the brothers. Really, what you better say, what you better should really say, I don't want to fucking talk to you, man. I don't want to talk, this is harassment. I don't want to fucking talk to you. You really should say. Get her ass up the fucking street. Oh, no, maybe she wouldn't have got the street, but at least she would have shut her fucking ass up. Go ahead, man.
Verse 2, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, come down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared
But then she might have still been a demon, right? She might have still kept talking, I don't know. Maybe she would have still talked, you know, but whatever. Go ahead, who cares? Whatever.
It says, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Right, that's us coming out of those chariots, man. Okay? And that's when we come down, that's when the trouble, that's when the fun begins, man. And the trouble for you needed, man. But we're coming down, you know, where we come, whatever we're going to do, I don't know exactly, we're going to go to the wilderness. The scriptures say we're going to go to the wilderness.
Yeah.
If I get that.
Yeah.
Go to the wilderness.
With Yahushai.
Okay? We don't know if that's South America or whatever, we don't know where it's at. Okay? But we're going to find out where it's at. Who knows if it's in the wilderness? We don't know. I don't know, the Lord might bring us to the same wilderness. I don't know. We're going to see. But it's going to be judgment.
Yeah.
Right?
Jeremiah 16 and 16, behold, I will send for fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them.
That's right.
And after will I send for hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock.
Right, so we're going to hunt these Edomites, man. Okay? Starting with the elites. Give me Psalms 149. Okay, starting with the elites. Right? We're going to disperse. We're going to come out.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll see you in Kuwait, brother. Alright? Go ahead.
Psalms 149 and verse 6. Let the high praises of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people.
Yeah, we're going to have swords, man. We're going to have swords. We're going to have spiritual powers, but we're also going to have swords, man. Okay? There will be some heavenly swords, too. Okay? There will be some beautiful swords, you know? Wonderful swords. You know, the old school swords, the swords that now we can't even lift them swords up. You know? Well, I'm trying to push 3 plates. You know, I'm trying to get the bill. Maybe one day you can lift it out, but those swords are heavy as hell, man. You can't just swing them. The ancient those swords. There's a reason they called them mighty, man. Them things was heavy, man. Them things was hundreds of pounds. You know what I'm saying? Them things was you know, like picking up like plates and dumbbells. You know, I'm talking about like the plates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they know. They had that type of strength, especially when you go to the ancient world. So that's the type of swords we're gonna have. And the two-edged sword doesn't mean, brothers gotta stop saying that too, man. The two-edged sword, yeah, this is an old, I don't really ever heard brothers say this lately. Well, yeah, you could cut someone, you could cut yourself. That's not what a two-edged sword means. It's not a blade that's out of 2 sides like that. Okay? It's 2 edges means it goes like this. It goes like this and comes like that. It's big Excalibur type swords. Alright? Which that's the type of sword we're gonna come with.
Right, I mean, to your point, like for instance, the machete is like one edge, the other edge is like straight, it's not sharpened. But the Excalibur, both of the edges, sharpened. Right.
1 Samuel 21 and verse 7. Now a certain man of the service of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Dagog, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Abimelech, and is there not here under thy hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. 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 If thou wilt take it, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that, give it me.
That's right. So they were able to, that was a sword of a giant, all right? The Goliath was tall as hell, all right? So, might be 10 feet, you don't know, okay? But at the end of the day, what you have to be at least maybe 13 giants, right? So, ultimately, right, he took that sword, he was using that, and King David, he took the crown off, you know, when he took the crown off of that particular king, it was 100 pounds, strong neck. I gotta do some neck workouts too. Okay, but anyways, you guys got precept? What?
This is Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
Okay, well, hold that. Good.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 12 and verse 30. It says, matter of fact, verse 28. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together, and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city, and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people together, and went to Rabbah, and fought against it.
That's a real glory. You go to take a city, and the city will be called by your name. You know, I'm not just going to take over Montreal. It will be called Montreal, right? He calls the car, or whoever took it over. You understand what I'm saying? So what kind of glory is that, man? You know, you can literally say, this is my city. Jake says it.
It's my block.
It's my city, right? But that's the glory of the nature. And that's coming back in the future.
That's right.
It says, and David gathered all the people together, and went to Rabbah, and fought against it, and took it. And he took their king's crown, from off his head, the weight whereof was a talent of gold with precious stones.
Right, and that's about 100 pounds. That's 100 pounds. Yeah, a talent is 100 pounds. What?
It says, and it was set on David's head, and he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance.
That's it. Right? So, hey, that wasn't no joke, man. I mean, the ancient world, the forefathers were some major mighty men, man. Some major mighty men. You read about the mighty men and how they slew, certain of them slew 800 at one time. That means at that time, he slew 800. He went through 800. I did the video, I showed what 800 would look like. He ran through 800 people, man, and destroyed them, put them all to death. There's another one where it says he stood. Matter of fact, brother could get that too. Matter of fact, we can end off on that. Okay? Deal with the mighty, when it's naming the mighty men, these were the mighty men.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Got it?
I know.
Second Ezra chapter 5 and 46. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman and say unto her, if thou bringest forth children, why doest thou it not together? But one after another. Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said,
I got it. Yes.
Okay, verse 52. Say unto her, wherefore are not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature?
Less of stature. That's going into glory, but also going into strength as well. Okay? The men of old were on a way different level. I'm talking about the ancient world. I'm talking about going back to the time of King David. Okay? Right? They're on a way different level, man. Okay? Their minds were stronger. There's even an account where the angel had to work on the minds of the king. Like he had to labor to work on the minds of the king. That's how strong the king's mind is. Most High didn't set up this thing, but now you got following out. Joe Biden, he's not even going to look. He's dead already. He's just there, just like the movie. Okay? But guess what? You got those type of rulers now. What's that guy? Boris Johnson. That guy, every day, like the guy, without no advisor.
That's crazy.
Yo, how you got all that power, bro? No advisor to tell you, brother. No advisor, you know? None of you brothers come out like look like that, man. But he's doing interviews, he's going into foreign relations, right? Meeting with the WEF with his hair look like every day. That's a cult of personality. Okay? But it says they, verse Trudeau. That's not a leader, man. That's not a ruler, man. It's a big joke, man. Look at how King Henry was in the thing. And look at this guy. Look how fucking evil and weak.
Verse 53. And she shall answer thee, they that be.
I don't know if you see what the Chinese president, right? He came in and he said, I don't like the way you no. I don't like the way you exposed or sent out a video of us talking or recording us talking. That was in good faith, you know. He's like, I did what I had to do. Because he knew he was guilty. Right? So the guy just walked away from it, kind of gave my hand, kind of walked off, like, you know? He's standing there looking stupid. Alright? That's not a real ruler, man. The rulers of the ancient world, when you stood in front of Xerxes, there was fear that came upon them, man. The Lord put a particular spirit on the kings, man. Oh, there's even a scripture that speaks about standing in front of the kings, like standing in front of a lion or something like that. There's a particular scripture on that, right? About fearing the kings. Okay? What you got? Got something else?
It says, verse 53. And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb filleth, are otherwise.
That's right. But the children that are born when the womb is younger comes out more healthy, comes out stronger. Okay? Right.
Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you.
Right, they're less of stature. Right, that's it. Right, because that's what they're less in height too. Okay? Them people, the ancient world were bigger too, stronger. Okay, their minds were stronger. Okay, testosterone is constantly dropping in society because of the foods, the plastic, you know, the way of life. Okay, the way of life. They have people living this city life. That really makes you weak. Go ahead, man.
Proverbs 20 and verse 2, the fear of a king.
See, the city was really created for the woman. The city wasn't created for the woman. Okay, that's why it's called a metropolis, mother city. Go ahead.
Proverbs 20 and verse 2, the fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul.
But that's it, because there's order. The Most High wanted order on the earth too. See, now we're in a place of complete discord. That's why, you know, wherever true to right, you shoot a bottle, an apple at him, right? Because he's not a true ruler. These are not true rulers. Okay? Or the so-called royalty of England. That's not the true royalty of England. All right? Oh, they shot eggs at him. This guy just went to jail. Imagine you shoot eggs at the King Xerxes. What? You couldn't even be in the presence of the king without being called, man. Going back to the Persian Empire. You couldn't even be in the presence of the king. Okay? Which even when King David was, because King David was a humble man, okay, he was walking at his one Benjamin demon that was cursing him out, right? Right? You know, the mighty man was ready, he already had the hand on the sword, walking, and he says, no, let him speak what he has to say. Maybe the Lord wants to tell me something. That's just because he's a man, but he still got put to death. King David said before he died, he still got put to death. He still said, listen, before I go down, make sure you put this person to death, put that person to death, put that person to death.
He was on the list,
You know? So King David was really long suffering. You know, so that's why he's after the heart of the Most High. Go ahead. That was it.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 23,
We'll get the last scriptures.
and verse 8. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tecumnite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adeno, the Esnite. He lifted up his spear against 800.
800, man. You know, 800, this is, look, all the people you can see here, this is less than 800. All the people you can see right now with your eyes, this is less than 800. Okay? Matter of fact, put the camera on it, brother. Turn the camera. All the people that you see here is less than 800. That's less than 800. Way less than 800. That might be like 50. That might be like 50. Okay, so like 10, 15 times that. That's what he slew by himself. By himself, man. So they had spiritual. They were like spiritual powers.
Yeah.
They were like superheroes. That was our forefathers, man. And guess what? I was listening to that video. You know what I mean? That's what I listen to at the gym. Okay, so I just put on that video. Repeat it. That video I showed you, brothers?
Yeah.
For the time where it speaks about these were the mighty men of David. I put it. That's why I push it too. That's why I push it too quick. These were the mighty men of David. And when it's exactly what the brother's reading. Huh? What did he say? What's his name? You know, the Esnite, right? Read it.
It says, the same was Adeno, the Esnite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time.
That's it, man. Who he slew at one time, man. You know? You know, this one cat came up behind me, like thinking that I'm gonna leave a spot, looking at the weight. Get me from me. Get me from me. Go ahead.
It says, and after him was Eleazar, the son.
No, my fault, but no wild. Go ahead, man.
It says, and after him was Eleazar, the son of Dudu.
Some doodoo.
It says the son of
Say Dodo. Come on, brother. Come on. Read it. Dodo.
Dodo.
Yeah, you read, right? Policy. Go ahead. Read it.
Second Samuel 23.
I love that so much, bro. You're gonna laugh about it.
Second Samuel 23. The book of 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 9. And after him was Eleazar the son of Dodo, the Awahite, one of the three mighty men with David, when they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. Yeah? He arose and smote the Philistines under his hand, until his hand was weary.
He hold it to his hand, so that means he was diligent, he was hard work. With the Philistines, like it was hard work. And it says what? Keep going.
It says his hand was weary and his hand clave unto the sword.
You need to ply the man's hand open to let go of the sword. Man. That's how, man. There was a spirit on our forefathers, man. Okay? And guess what? The Lord took that spirit, but he's going to bring it back. Ooh. And he's going to enhance it.
That's right.
Go ahead, man.
It says, and basically became one.
Yeah, with the sword. Man, his sword, he couldn't let go. Couldn't let go. He was gripping it so tight that, you know, he couldn't let go. He probably was holding it for hours. You know what I'm saying? Because the spirit was on him, man.
Good. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil.
To spoil, right? Because he took care of the enemy.
All right, right. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop.
Go to the blue letter, to the part where it says,
where it was a piece of ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory.
we're going to read it. Go to that
Verse
chapter.
13.
Right.
And three of them.
Hold on. Read that again. Something important was there? Some great act that happened? Read it.
Verse 11. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where it was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines.
The people fled, right? What did he do? What did he
But he
with the
stood
mighty
in the
men?
midst
But
of
he
the ground.
stood. Everyone was running. They saw the Philistines coming, and he stood in the midst with the. He stood. These are some great, courageous warriors, man, that we got in our lineage, man. And you could have said, man, a little BS we go through, and we all weak in the spirit, man. Huh? We worried about shit that we worry about day to day. Well, look at the courageousness of our forefathers, the courageousness of David, man, the courageousness of the mighty man, man, that we're reading about, man. Dino, I gotta remember that name, man. Dino, the Esnite. Yo, 800 men at once, man. See them John Jones and these guys, see our people that they dominate the boxing and the MMA, the fighting and shit like that. But they couldn't stand to our forefathers like that, man. Or even Jack Johnson, they were going like almost 100 rounds back then in the 40s and the 20s. Actually, I think, what was Jack Johnson, like 40s? We're going 100 rounds, man. So that's a whole different, he used to pick up the Edomites and keep them, man. Pick up the white boys and keep them up, man. After they were knocked up. So he had a whole different spirit. They were going many, many more rounds than what they go now. They go 12 rounds. Come on, so what's that then? There'll be nothing. You understand? Go ahead.
It says, but he stood in the midst of the ground.
Oh, even when you go back a little further, go back to, what was that, George Foreman, he would leave a dent in the box, in the bag. And he said, I never see nobody leave a dent in the bag. Right? And the guy, he looked like he was holding on for dear life. The guy behind him,
he was getting rocked.
Not getting rocked, he was basically swinging on the fucking bag.
Extra weight.
It says, so imagine our forefathers. Huh? They would, like I said, man, if one of the mighty men of David came back to fight in UFC, he could fight all of them at the same time. All of them at the same time and put them on to death.
Right. Verse 12, but he stood in the midst of the ground and
He stood in the midst of the ground. Go ahead.
and defended it, and slew the Philistines,
Yeah.
and the Lord wrought a great victory.
That's it. Right.
You say shalom.
See, this is through the power of Yahweh
shalom,
Shai,
shalom.
but there's also, they were also training on a high level. We also had the knowledge of training too. You see what I'm saying? It takes knowledge to train. Okay? You have to know what to train and how to train. So the Lord gave us that wisdom back then as well. Because guess what? The Lord deals with order. Right? So it's a process of someone becoming a warrior. Okay, David wasn't a warrior when he first started, but he had to build up to be this. He had to train and he was diligent with it. You know, probably at home at getting dark, still practicing with the sword. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, all of that. You see what I'm saying? To the point where he perfected it, but not only did he perfect it, the spirit of the Lord was on
Yeah,
him.
the spirit.
Right? Because it's nothing that if you come and you miss it, the guy hit you from the back, right? But the Lord was protecting him.
Yeah.
So he had that skill, but the Lord was also guiding. So it's all a process, man.
Psalm
Everything's a
144.
process, man. And that's why even those old kung fu flicks, my pops and me and my father used to watch, right? Like when I was a kid, the ones I always liked was the ones where I saw them from a child training when they evolved. Those are the ones I liked. I didn't wasn't so into the ones where they were saying, oh, this is a mighty warrior from the beginning. I like the ones where I seen him train for the beginning. He was garbage at the beginning, and then he built. You know, and he built it. It's like, oh, yo, wow, oh. You know? Because you're seeing the process, you're seeing the graduation.
That's right.
Even in Dragon Ball Z, Goku, he was trained by Princess Dr. Genial, you know? Ballhead, training with Krillin. And then Krillin was his partner, but he was trained by what's his name? Master Roshi, that's his name? Master Roshi.
Funny guy.
Yeah. He trained him, and then eventually he became a mighty man. So he trained wasn't like born into a mighty man, right?
Although he had the power within him, although we have the power within us, we still have to unlock it. The Lord, and that's why the Lord said that He kept. You know the scripture where it says the Lord said that He kept us in the Philistines amongst us, so that they can learn the war, because He wanted to train them up in that war. But no one's doing it. Who's reading Kings? Oh, you were reading that. Okay, so okay, go ahead.
It says, verse 13, and 3 of the 30 chiefs went. Okay, it says, and 3 of the 30 chiefs went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in the hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well.
So just to get the water to David, right, showing how much love they have for David, right? They broke through the troop, right? The army, 3 men. Not 200 men, 3 men. So these are the type of courage and power that are right? So it's not just the training alone. Training alone they will get you. It's also the power of God.
That's right.
Good. That's right. It says, and the 3 mighty men break.
When you go back then, it was clear that we were superior to the nation. You couldn't say, oh, fight of Israel. They knew what type of power the Israelites was coming from. They knew how the Israelites was coming from. Taking out 800 people at one time. You gonna tell me that's a normal warrior, man?
Good, man. And the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord.
Right, he wouldn't even drink it because people was gonna say what?
And he said, be it far from me, O Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, that I should do this.
Right.
Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?
Right.
Therefore he would not drink it.
Yeah, he wouldn't, because he was a great man of the Lord. He had honor. Say, nah, although I really desire this, what they did to get it, I ain't gonna drink it. I'm gonna pour it out and give it unto the Lord. See, King Henry would have drank it. Good. No? And maybe would have promoted him later. Good.
Give us some man.
Good.
These things did these 3 mighty men.
Right. Right.
And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them.
So he slew 300 men, right? The other one slew 800, he slew 300 men. This is at one time, right? This is not, and this is real history. See, Esau's such a loser. They need movies. Why don't they go and look up the actual history and make the movie of King David and the Mighty? Do a million movies on this. Right. But no, because they're not the people of the Most High. That's why. Go ahead, man.
Was he not most honorable of the 3? It says, and had the name among 3.
Right.
Verse 19.
Had the name among 3, man. Okay, yeah, right. That's the one I was talking about. Had the name among 3. But I think that's supposed to be 30. Anyways, go ahead.
Verse 19. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Albeit he attained not unto the first 3.
See, back then there was true order, right? Someone who merits to be in a position, they're going to be in a position they merit to be in. And it's going to put anyone in that position. What? That's going to be secret. Okay.
Not a ticket, you're right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Not a ticket.
Who got a ticket?
Not the guy.
Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And Benaiah, the son of Joiada, the son of...
Read that again.
Okay. Verse 19. Was he not most honorable of 3?
Right, like I said, back then in the ancient world, the ones that were put in those positions, they deserved that position. Right. They've done things to get that position. Now you can go to the army, you have a woman doing it. First of all, they don't have even the same standard as you as a man in the army. That's confusion. But she's the general. That's confusion.
Go ahead. Therefore was he their captain.
Yeah.
Albeit he attained not unto
Listen, they have a different standard in the army, in the police force, in the fire. They don't do the same curriculum as the men. The men do a harder curriculum. Let's say if the men do 50 push-ups, they got to do 25 push-ups. So how the fuck can they be your captain? First of all, they're not supposed to be over no man anyway. But that's the confusion and disorder this man. And of course, people are gonna buck up at that. Why wouldn't you buck up at that? You understand? And then sometimes they promote certain people just because of things, how much ass they kiss. You understand? Sometimes they get promoted just based upon how much ass they kiss. Back then, it's not about you ain't get promoted based upon ass, the amount of ass you're kissing. It's based upon merit, man. It's 800 people to get what he's supposed to. And I'm gonna listen to him.
Go ahead. Verse 20, and Benaiah the son of Joiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab.
Right. And those had to be some now men that done, they done probably took out 100 people, or like whatever, let's say 30 people by themselves. You know, some powerful men. And he took out both of them, man.
Right. He went down
Because
also.
they're not gonna write it like they've been taking out double 2 people all the time. They're gonna write about the people they take out if they're notable people.
Right. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit,
Right.
in time of snow.
Right. And he went out and put a lion to death as well. Right?
And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had
And when it says goodly there, it means a man that was good with the sword. He was a great warrior. That's what it meant. Doesn't mean he was a good-looking man. It meant he was a man that was good with the sword. Go ahead.
And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand.
Right.
But he went down to him with the staff, plucked the spear out of
He didn't even bring a spear. He brought a staff with him, man. Right?
and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear.
That's it. Okay, so these are the things that that our forefathers did, man. All right. So these are some great acts, man. All right. Let's get that last account. We'll end off on that.
This is Judges 3 and verse.
See, if Jake knew that this was their forefathers, Jake knew that this was them, they would be moving different. They would be acting different if they knew the things that they've done as a people. But society teaches you the exact opposite. Basically, they tell you you ain't done nothing. That's subconsciously what they're telling you in society. This society is made to break Jake down. And Jake's in the truth. We are healed up through the spirit. And you should be in the exact opposite mindset. Go ahead.
Judges 3 and verse 1. Now these are the nations which Yahweh left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as has not known the wars of Canaan, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know and to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing.
You have another count?
Jump into verse 14. It says, so the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gerah.
A Howard. No, it's Ehud, but I'm saying the Hebrew word. Howard.
It says, Ehud, the son of Gerah, a Benjaminite, a man left-handed. And by him, the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. And Ehud...
These Benjamites be left-handed. These Benjamites be left-handed. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be a sign of a bad Benjamin. Might be a Benjamin. Left-handed. Go ahead.
It says, but Ehud made a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. It says, and he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people.
I mean, that don't compare to these ones. No. That don't compare to. I mean, that was
the way
the
he
thing.
killed them was
It was courageous. No, because you know why? Because this is going to, he shanked him, but it's courageous. That's the king. That's terrible. But that ain't the same. That ain't the same as the book we read about the mighty men. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were one of those accounts. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's finish off. Let's continue reading that. That's pretty much it. Well, let's read the last ones. Okay, the last one. Last one.
It's the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 23, and verse 21, and verse 22. These things that Benaiah the son of Joiada and had the name among 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3.
Yep.
And David set him over his guard. Asahel, the brother of Joab, was one of the 30. Alahan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shammah, the Harodite. Elika, the Harodite. Helez, the Paltite. Ira, the son of Ikesh, the Tekoite. Abizur, the Anatotite. Mebunai, the Hushatite.
So right, so let's go through the names of all the mighty men. Okay, but we read about the great acts that they did. Okay, and this actually happened. Right? Okay, the amount of people they put to death at once. And that's why they sang that Saul killed his thousands and David his tens of thousands. Because David became a greater warrior than Saul. Okay, go ahead.
This is Psalms 18 and verse 28. For thou wilt light my candle, Yahweh my power will enlighten my darkness. For by thee, says, for by thee have I run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall.
Right, so David leaped over a wall. And those walls were tall walls. Those were not no little fences that you jump.
Spiritual
Right?
power.
Those were some walls that when you see in Moabite movies, they running up the wall. That's how David was. They got that from us, man. They got that from King David running up the wall. All right, that was the ancient world, man. But you got certain people that do the little videos, and they like Jakes that could run up the wall to a certain degree, right? But he was running over some different walls. Those are little walls. He was running through some different walls, man. To take the city.
Verse 32, it is the Most High that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms.
Right. A bow of steel is broken by his arms, so he's breaking steel with his arms. Man. That's through the power. See, you can't do that by training.
No.
Well, I mean, nah. Yeah, but the men back then were different. You know, the bones were stronger. Okay, but really, ultimately, it's the spirit of the Lord.
That's
Well,
right.
that's why he said it. He said, by thee.
By thee,
Right?
yeah.
Right. So that's ultimately the Yahweh shot. Okay? That's it on that? All right. So that's pretty much it on that. That's something else? Okay, what?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 20.
Yep.
Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them.
Right. So the Lord is going to give us back that glory again, but He's going to elevate it on a higher level. Oh man, I can't wait till that order is set, man. That's why the scripture says, "As on earth, as in heaven, man. As in heaven, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Okay, which in the heavens is nothing but pure order. Okay, now this order. Yes, son. Go ahead.
Zechariah 12, verse 8. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
So, and like I said, David right now with a fight, he can destroy the whole UFC. He can take out this whole city. Man. Literally, he can take out this whole city. Every person in this city can take them out. When it comes to hand combat, he can take everyone out, the whole city, by himself. This is how great a warrior is. Go ahead.
And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of Yahweh before them.
That's it. So you open up on that. Yeah.
This is Leviticus 26 and verse 7. And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100. And 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword.
That's right. So with that, we're going to give all praise to and honor
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
the last thing, apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation, much love and respect to Rocky Mountain for pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Shemai,
Shemai,
Yahweh,
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 Yahweh, Yahweh, Shemai, Yahweh, Shemai, Yahweh,